What you gon' do when you facing accountability? You say she pandering, you hyenas be killing me. You niggas scandalous, your stories like validity. Boy, don't come for celebrity, queen of account, they callin' her a pick me. Some women say she pandering, cause she don't pick the girl code over.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry for the late notice, but I had to do a show on this because I recently found out about this case and it really hit home for me. Um, I'm hoping that you guys were able to view the video that I put up prior to this. Um, we're going to talk about this because I honestly feel like this subject doesn't get um, spoken about a lot because people don't want to accept the fact that not everything is a mental illness. We have to start holding people accountable for their actions and what they do. We have to also remember that if we're going through a tough time in our lives, there are so many different things that we can do to get help, so many different resources. And I feel like most people hide behind facades and Instagram names and YouTube accounts because they don't want to acknowledge that they need help. And they don't want anyone else telling them that they need help. So I'm hoping that you guys were able to watch the video that I did put up in regard to Danielle Johnson. If anybody is new to this case, I found out about it today. I'm a bit upset that I found out about it today because I watched the news and I thought that something of this caliber would have been plastered every day on the news. So for those who are not familiar with why I'm doing this show, Danielle Johnson, 34-year-old Black female, she murdered her boyfriend, Jalen, and she murdered her 8-month-old baby and attempted to murder her 9-year-old child. The way it happened is, according to the neighbors in California, they said that Danielle and her boyfriend was arguing. And then the arguing, it increased and then it stopped. That's all they heard. So what actually happened was Danielle ended up stabbing her boyfriend to death while he laid on the couch. After she stabbed him to death, she proceeded to drag his body, try to drag it out of the apartment. But I guess Jalen was too heavy. It was too much of a job. So instead of her, calling 911, admitting what she did wrong, she ended up dragging his body into the kitchen. At that point, her 9-year-old daughter witnessed what happened. So then Danielle proceeds to get her 9-year-old and 8-month-old baby into the car. She put them in her Porsche and she drives on the freeway at high speeds. She starts to slow up a little bit and then she tells her 9-year-old daughter to get out while the car is still moving. Of course, that 9-year-old was smart and said, I'm not going nowhere. No. When the daughter refused, the mother Danielle ended up pushing them out of the car while the car was moving. And what happened was she pushed her 9-year-old so hard that the 8-month-old baby fell out of her hands into the street and a car hit the baby, killing the baby instantly. The 9-year-old child was able to get away and run to the shoulder of the freeway, and she was able to survive with minor injuries. Danielle proceeded to drive her Porsche at speeds of 105 miles per hour and then running into a tree and killing herself. So when I was looking at this case and I was reading it online, I noticed that a lot of women were saying postpartum depression. Danielle was going through a lot. We need to talk about this more. A lot of women admitted that when they gave birth, they felt like throwing their kid out of a window. They felt like doing things to their child. Let me tell you something, ladies. When you have a child, when you give birth, before you give birth, they prepare you for what could happen. They go over all the things that you may experience upon giving birth. So in my eyes, there is no excuse for you to say, I'm going through this and I felt like that too. And I wanted to throw my kid out the window. I don't give a damn how you fucking felt. Because before you give birth, while you are pregnant, they educate you. They tell you what postpartum depression looks like. They give you videos. They give you pamphlets. Everything you need to know exactly what is happening so that if it happens, you can seek help. There's no excuse. No, when you're a first-time mother, they make sure you are prepared because life does happen. And they said postpartum depression doesn't last for years and years. I want to remind you that Danielle already had a 9-year-old child. And the doctor said, the more you have kids, the easier it is to handle. So I want to remind you that she has a 9-year-old and she had an 8-month-old child. So if she was experiencing postpartum with the 8-month-old, this woman had the resources. She had the money. She had the means to get help. We cannot continue to tell women that it's okay to kill your kids because you're going through depression. Because if that's the case, when a man does it, I don't want to hear shit. Because depression is depression. Postpartum, regular, it doesn't matter. It is a mental illness. And in order for people to diagnose it, in order for you to get the help, you have to seek help. You can't sit there and post 210,000 times online and avoid what's really going on at home. So a lot of women are on Danielle's side because they have kids and they feel like if a woman is going through postpartum, they have a right to express how they feel. I don't agree with that. And I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I think it is disgusting, selfish, and just cruel of this woman to take everyone's life. Not everyone, but the boyfriend and the 8-month-old and herself. Take yourself out, but don't sit there and take everybody else out because you're not happy. Because remember, the violence is started with the argument with her boyfriend. Now, I went to this woman's page and looked at her tweets. She tweeted a lot about the astrology and the stars, and they even said that she was close to a medium. She sees spirits, all these different things. 210,000 tweets, and not one person reported any of the tweets, no matter how disturbing they got. So now you guys understand why I do what I do online, why they call me the queen of accountability. Because when women do this type of stuff, people turn a blind eye. They don't care. People don't care anymore. Then when some shit happens, now all of a sudden we want to diagnose people. Now all of a sudden we want to give them excuses. That's not the way the world works. If you're saying that Danielle was suffering from postpartum and that is why she killed those people, then we can say that Jasmine Moss was going through postpartum and it made her tell her 40-year-old daughter to wax vaginas. We can say that Rhoda Osmond was going through depression and that made her lie and say a man assaulted her with a brick. We can keep going. It's not going to work here. If we're going to give Danielle a pass, then we got to give these school shooters a pass who come up to a school with kids and shoot them all. And the kids did nothing to the person. They must be mentally ill too, right? Wrong. Wrong. They're now locking up parents of school shooters because they don't want to hear that shit. They're telling the parents it's your job to get them help. It is your job to get them the counseling, the therapy that they need. And if you're not going to do it, we're going to lock you up. So why are we giving Danielle a pass? The woman lived in a really, really expensive part of Cali. She was paying between $4,200 and $5,700 a month to live where she was. So I don't want to hear shit about her not having the means to get help. She was driving a Porsche. Let's stop making excuses for people who choose not to get help. Let's stop that. Her boyfriend, Jalen Chaney, he was a vet. He fought for this country. So clearly she caught him off guard on the couch because in reality, he could have taken her. The man fought for this country and died by the hands of his girlfriend. And y'all sitting up here saying that's postpartum depression. We're not doing that today. No, ladies, we're not doing that today. If that's the angle you want to go in, I'm not going to agree with you on that end right there. I'm not. I think what she did, she knew what she was doing. When she tried to move Jalen's body, that isn't a mental illness. That's calculated. Oh, I killed him. Now I got to hide the body. You're thinking. Most people that are not all together, they just act on things. They just do things. They don't try to cover it up. They just do it. If she was really mentally ill, most people would have taken their whole family out right there in the same room. They wouldn't get their kids to get into the car with them so they can push them out on the freeway. Get the fuck out of here. That isn't a mental illness. That's her not wanting to be caught. And then when her plans didn't work the way she wanted them to, she took her own life. It isn't right. And we got to stop giving passes to women who do this behavior, because you wouldn't give it to men. You'll say the man was possessive, selfish, controlling, abusive. He'll get all those titles, but mentally ill. And then you'll say, well, hey, it's his job to ask for help. Ladies, if you're going through postpartum depression, TikTok isn't going to help you. Twitter isn't going to help you. Facebook and YouTube isn't going to help you. Get off your ass and go and get help. There's no excuse. No excuse at all. But a lot of you women, y'all think that what she did warranted, all the people saying, oh, we care about her. She didn't mean to do it. She was an innocent Black woman. She was 34 years old. Her boyfriend was 29. Going through a divorce. If you're going through a divorce, you shouldn't be with another man producing more kids. This story's bigger than you think. I know who her husband is. I looked him up too. 38 years old, from Ohio. Didn't see one post about what his ex-wife did, or his wife, soon-to-be ex-wife did. No post about it. Nothing. Family. Looked up the family. Nobody made a post about what their sister, what their cousin, what their family member did. Nobody saying anything. This woman had a full family. So I don't want to hear that she didn't mean to do it. She did what she did because she wanted to do it. And a lot of people are saying it's because of the eclipse. We've had more eclipse than the one we just had. There was one in 2017 as well. She didn't kill her daughter then. So can we stop making excuses? Anyone that's into the psychic readings and all that, that's your choice. But we're not going to sit here and say that's the reason why all this happened. That's an excuse. That's an excuse a lot of you guys use. And it's disgusting. We got to stop that. We have to. If I had been following this woman's Twitter, if I knew about her, it wouldn't have gotten this far. But a lot of you women support this behavior. When I went on Instagram and typed in her name, she was doing podcasts all the way back to 2016. The woman isn't mentally ill. She's not. She's sane. She just believes in the stars and astrology and all that bullshit. She was working on a degree at one point in her life. She just didn't finish. Got in trouble in 2012 in the state of Virginia for stopping a police from doing his job. Intimidated a policeman and threatened a policeman. And she was charged in 2012 out of Virginia. Had to pay over $20,000 in court costs. This woman is not mentally ill at all. If you go to her Twitter, you'll see some times where she even said, I'm in a new relationship and I'm happy. Doing better. Found my peace. Love my new boo. But she was still married. The divorce hasn't even been finalized yet. Y'all got to stop making excuses for these type of people. Danielle did something horrendous. Imagine driving on a freeway and finding out that you ran over an 8-month-old baby. What about those people that are traumatized, who had to see that happen? What about the 9-year-old who had to navigate between cars to live? But y'all over here saying this woman did it because of postpartum depression. That's what we're doing today. That's the excuse that we're using. That doesn't work over here. It doesn't. The most severe symptoms, they can last up to 12 weeks. And it can take up to 12 months or more to recover if you get help. So if she was really going through that, she had the means. She had the help. Women, we're easier to ask for. We will ask for help quicker than a man will. So if you know that you already had a child and now you've had your second child and you're experiencing things that aren't normal, you ask for help. You don't go on Twitter and start tweeting about dumb shit. But this woman had a family. So everybody's at fault. Some of y'all know already that your family members are not all there, and you turn a blind eye. That's the problem. If there weren't people like me online reporting behavior that isn't right, that can put kids' lives in jeopardy, there'd be a lot more Danielle Johnsons out there. Y'all call me all these names for snitching, but when you don't snitch, you have this episode here where kids are dead. A kid is getting ran over by a car on the freeway. That's what you have. And all these people are saying rest in peace to the baby, like she didn't kill a vet who fought for this country. The man was clean. Good guy. An airman. And this is how we're treating him? What about his legacy? She ended his life. And clearly he wasn't expecting to be stabbed to death. Because most people that fight in the war, they know how to fight in real life too. So clearly she caught him slipping. No, Isaac, what I want you guys to understand is when you're separated, you're still married. That's what a lot of y'all are not understanding. If you are separated, you are still married, just living in separate sectors. That's all. You're still married. That's what that means. Y'all got to stop thinking that separated means like, oh, you're separated so you can go fuck again. No, you can't. The only time you are officially not married is when you are divorced. When you are separated, you are still fucking married. So y'all got to stop with that bullshit too. She was still married on paper, according to the documents. Still married. Going through a divorce. When you're going through it, it's not done yet. You're going through it. She was going through a divorce and still messing with other men and produced another baby while she was still married legally. So at the end of the day, like I said, everybody is not mentally ill. If you feel like you're not capable of taking care of your kids, give them up. But if you feel like you want to throw your kid out of a window, you need to be getting some help. I don't want to hear that shit. Women have too many resources available to them, especially those who give birth. There are too many things out there for y'all. And instead of you guys taking the help, you'll rather wait until it gets worse and then make an excuse, right? It wouldn't work in court. If Danielle would have survived that crash, she would be in jail. They wouldn't give a fuck about that postpartum shit. She would be locked up. Just like they do these school shooters. Just like they do men that do it. If a man did what Danielle did, y'all would want him to fry if he made it. So stop it with the depression. Stop. Okay, I'm going through y'all. Hold on, I'm going through the comments. What I want you guys to see is some stuff that I did record. A lot of y'all probably didn't see the video that I made, but no worries, I got your back. So I'm gonna let you first see the footage, and you won't see anybody dead or anything like that. But I want you to hear it out of the policeman's mouth. This isn't something I'm making up. You got to hear it. When you have cops that cried, when you have people that are not supposed to be showing emotion, crying, imagine being called to the freeway where you see a dead 8-month-old baby that was ran over. Imagine that. And y'all sit up here making excuses. That baby never had a chance. She could have honestly left those kids in that house and went and took her own life. But instead, she had them get into a car. I'm going to push you out. That's how you're going to die. Pushing them out on a freeway that's busy in Cali, you wanted them both to be dead. And y'all sitting there saying that's postpartum too? So postpartum depression will make you stab someone to death, try to get rid of the body, then move the body to the kitchen, then tell your kids, come on, we're leaving. Come on, y'all. We got to stop making excuses. No. Because if it was your loved one being killed and someone said, oh, they were going through postpartum or they were going through a mental illness episode, y'all wouldn't take that. Y'all would not take it if it was your loved one that got killed. So why y'all doing it now? Oh, because it's not your loved one. because it's protect black women, right? Even if they're killing their kids, protect black. No, that don't work here. So let me go ahead and play this this audio for y'all because I'm doing better with YouTube now, and then we will go from there.
Crushed Porsche Cayenne, the deadly end of a trail of violence. The mother behind the wheel, 34-year-old Danielle Johnson, taking her own life by slamming into a tree in Redondo Beach after allegedly killing 2 others, including her 8-month-old daughter, when she threw the infant and her 9-year-old sister out of the car on the freeway.
The suspect slowed the vehicle and opened the passenger door for her daughter and then told her to get out of the car. And when the daughter didn't do that, she then forcibly pushed her out of the vehicle in the middle of the freeway while moving, while the 9-year-old was holding the 8-month-old baby.
The baby fell to the pavement and was struck and killed by a passing vehicle. The 9-year-old managed to make it to the shoulder with moderate injuries. A horrifying ending to carnage that began hours earlier for the sole survivor of the violence. Eyewitness News has learned the 9-year-old witnessed her mother stab her live-in boyfriend, 29-year-old Jalen Chaney, to death in their Woodland Hills apartment.
That little girl obviously saw more than she ever should have seen in any life yesterday. So I just hope someone's taking care of her because she's going to need it.
Investigators say Johnson killed Chaney early Monday morning after a fight, then rammed the garage gate as she fled with her daughters. Detectives say a short time later, Johnson pushed the little girls out of her car on the 405 and drove away. Her final act, crashing into a tree at more than 100 miles per hour. Detectives still searching for a motive.
Given that the only witness we really have to this crime now is a 9-year-old girl, there's just very little information we have other than there was a verbal altercation that turned violent and it ended in tragedy.
The 9-year-old is now in the care of the Department of Children and Family Services. Her father lives out of state. It is unclear if Chaney was the father of the 8-month-old who was killed.
Y'all saw that? You guys got to hear it with your own 2 ears. I didn't make up anything I just said. Y'all saw the freeway. You saw that little tarp. Does any of you guys, does that touch any of you guys in a way? This woman went out like a coward. I'm sorry. A coward. I understand that postpartum depression is real, but so are the resources. When you're in the hospital, you have a doctor. You have people you can talk to. But a lot of you women can't use that as an excuse for doing some horrendous acts like that. If any one of you women out there today is experiencing that and you don't know how to ask for help, reach out to me and I'll help you. Because the last thing we want are kids to be killed. That 8-month-old baby, first of all, didn't ask to be here. And didn't ask to die by the way of being ran over by a car. Can you imagine that 9-year-old girl? She's going to be traumatized for the rest of her life because of Danielle Johnson. What about her depression? What about what she's going to go through? She had her sister in her arms and Danielle pushed her so hard, the baby fell out of her arms into the freeway and got ran over. So she's going to blame herself first for killing her sister. That's going to be a world of pain for that young girl. First, she witnesses her mom killing a veteran, right? Killing the boyfriend. They're calling him a live-in boyfriend. Put some respect on Jalen's motherfucking name. He was a vet. He wasn't just a live-in boyfriend. When you're living in an apartment that's almost $5,000 a month, she wasn't paying that by herself. Put some respect on that black man's name. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't out there selling nickel bags on the street. He fought for this motherfucking country just to be called a live-in boyfriend. That's what the news will do to you. A mother kills her. No, a deranged, evil mother did this act. But this is what the news does. They won't give you credit. They won't do the research and make sure that they're reporting the right information. They called Jalen Chaney a live-in boyfriend. And this man fought for this country. If I was his family, I would have went in on every news station that called him that. He was more than that. He was more than that. Because I'm sure if the roles were reversed and Jalen did this. They wouldn't call Danielle a live-in girlfriend. She would have been an innocent mother of 2. That's what it would have been. An innocent mother of 2 killed. That's how it would be. They wouldn't say a live-in mother of 2, but they do this to him. This woman, Danielle, was trying to be famous with singing, doing all the astrology stuff. She had a lot of bags. She was doing a lot of different things. Usually people that are mentally disturbed, they don't move like she was moving. And if she had real family, like I looked at, she has a lot of family. Y'all know y'all family member. So why didn't you guys reach out? No matter what anybody's going through, they're going to always show you a sign. It is up to you to either look at it, acknowledge it, and do something, or turn a blind eye. And unfortunately, the Black community, y'all love to turn a blind eye. You turned a blind eye on Rhoda Osmond. You turned a blind eye on Jasmine Moss. These are mothers that I'm mentioning who did horrendous acts. Do you think the courts are going to say, oh, it's because she still has postpartum? No, that won't fly. It won't fly. If you can tweet, you can ask for help. If you can do a music video, you can ask for help. Y'all sit up there and say Kanye West got all this money, acting like a fool. He lost his mom. We'll go get help. Y'all love pinning that on men. Well, he's asking for this. He doesn't want help. He chooses to be depressed and crazy. That's what you women say about men when they don't want to go seek help. But for women, well, she's a poor little innocent flower. Just gave birth 8 months ago. It's still new for her. No, it isn't. She has a 9-year-old daughter. It isn't new. So when are you guys going to wake up and understand that what Danielle did, it's not acceptable? And now y'all realize why they call me the queen of accountability. Do you know how many mothers I reported for doing things to their kids? Y'all might hate me, but I can tell you I've saved hundreds of kids over the course of the years that I've been doing this. Y'all can call me every name in the book, but I know what I did. When I called DCFS in Memphis on Jasmine Moss and spoke to the supervisor for 30 minutes, they cried when they saw what I showed them. The woman told me, I wish you were in Memphis. We would hire you on the spot. My investigation skills were thorough. I gave them everything to give to the police. Every address to give to the police. That's what 30 minutes does. And I had a case number. I didn't just call in an anonymous tip and say, I saw something on Facebook. I did the work. But y'all will sit here and say that Jasmine Moss was also going through postpartum, right? Having her 4-year-old daughter rip the strip off of grown-ass women's coochies, right? That's postpartum too, right? Bringing strangers into your house, in and out, where you can be robbed or killed or have your kids kidnapped. Y'all don't look at that. Y'all look at me reporting her and getting her in trouble. That is why a lot of you women will never be wives and you'll never prosper in life because you keep turning a blind eye, especially if it's a mother with kids. You have mothers saying what Jasmine did wasn't wrong. What Rhoda did wasn't wrong. They're still going through postpartum. Y'all make excuses for women who do things like this, but men, they are nailed. Y'all not letting them get away with this. When men actually go through depression too, at higher rates than women. That's why the suicide rates are higher in men. And women outnumber men, but yet men are leading. So don't sit up here and say that men don't go through it. Y'all wouldn't let men get away with it, so we're not letting Danielle get away with it. I also went to Danielle's YouTube. 3 years ago, she did a music video. I was disgusted with the video. You have to listen to the words. She's basically saying, I'm going to abuse you and you're going to put up with it. That was just 3 years ago. The woman was not mentally ill. She was possessive, aggressive. She knew what narcissist meant. She said that a lot on her Twitter, but she was talking about herself. I did the research. So I want y'all to hear a little piece of her music video. And you tell me. I put the caption on there for y'all to read. Check this out.
Can we start again? Ain't no winning and losing your love. I thought I could play tough, treat you rough like old shoes on you and off, yeah. I can't say I'm sorry, cause you deserve the shit I put you through, yeah.
I can't say I'm sorry because you deserve the shit I put you through. Mentally ill, right? Telling someone they deserve what I'm about to put you through. You deserve it instead of leaving, right? This is the kind of music she made. This was the kind of music that this woman made that you're calling mentally ill. This music video was three years ago. 3 years ago. Doesn't sound crazy to me. She didn't even have the baby yet. She wasn't even pregnant. This was just 3 years ago. She only had the one daughter at this time. And you're telling people that you deserve the shit I'm putting you through. So I'm not going to say sorry. No. That's not the way things work. You get out of that relationship if it's not good for you. This woman was disturbed and she controlled a lot of things. I went to the first baby daddy's page and I saw the interactions. She was very controlling. But I'm not going to post what I saw. I'll wait. But I want you to know that they're going to definitely speak with the 9-year-old because the 9-year-old knows more than everybody. And all we can do is pray for that 9-year-old and the family of Jalen. That's all we can do. But a lot of women that told me that I was wrong, I told them, come on the show. They're not here. This is what women do. They run. They talk all that crap on my Instagram. Oh, you're wrong, queen of accountability. BS. But then when you tell them to come on to the show, they run like roaches when the lights come on. They scatter and they hide. A lot of you women aren't built for this. Y'all talk all that mess on your screen. You hit the keys hard. But then when I tell you to come on the show, you don't want to say it with your chest because you know somebody that knows you is going to hear it and say, you lying. Why are you lying? They don't want to get called out. When I bring people onto my show, I don't diss them. I don't say, come on the show, you ugly hoe. That ain't me. I give everybody the opportunity to tell me how they feel with their chest. And when they disrespect, that's when I get in. That's when I step in. But I always give people the chance. They like to tell you behind an Instagram name how they feel, but they won't tell me in real life how they feel because they know someone's going to call that behavior out. And I keep telling you guys all the time that if it wasn't for people like me holding these women and men accountable, they would get away with stuff like this. That's why I report stuff. Even if you report a tip and it's not as bad as it seems, they're still going to look into it just to be safe. You never know. You never know what someone's going through, but you can tell through their tweets and through their posts that they're not all together. Hustler, can you mute? Can you mute right now, Hustler, please? And then
I'm already muted.
Then when somebody calls it out, they call me a snitch for it. Y'all just saw that video. Some of you guys just got here, so I'll play it again. It's not that long. But that video, that's the only part I needed to hear. The woman wanted to be famous for her music, for reading poems, for telling people about energies. She sees ghosts, all these things. I've seen it on Instagram all the time. I remember when Rhoda told me she was going to bury me. We all watched Rhoda have a cross and some beads and whatever that juice was she had in that cup. She went right to the cemetery and did what? I'm going to lay you to rest. I'm going to lay you to rest. That's that voodoo shit. The same stuff that Danielle Johnson was doing. Same stuff. They hide behind these facades. She said she was going to lay me to rest. Put a little hex on me. I'm still here. So I need y'all to understand that that little voodoo stuff, that's not going to work in the eyes of the law. They don't care about that. Oh, so you like doing that? Well, do it in your cell. Let's see you manifest yourself out of this cell. Let's see you put that magic to work when you're in that cell. Guarantee you it ain't gonna do nothing for them. They're gonna be stuck in there. And these people are supposed to love God and all this stuff that I'm doing right, but you're doing stuff that's of the devil. Make it make sense. Can't do both. Let me replay that video and then Hustler, I'll let you speak.
Can we start again? Ain't no winning and losing your love. I thought I could play tough, treat you rough like old shoes. I want you enough, yeah. I can't say I'm sorry, cause you deserve the shit I put you through, yeah.
Hustler, what you gotta say? What you gotta say about it, man?
Wow. Oh my God. And I thought the music industry couldn't get any egregious. This takes the cake. You're making a whole song about I'm guessing specifically a man. Oh God Almighty. As if that song Sierra made about independent women not needing a man wasn't bad enough. Now we got this BS. My God. And yeah.
Do you think that her actions had anything to do with a mental illness?
I don't know. Even if it did, that's no excuse for your behavior. I mean, like you said earlier, this is I've noticed as of lately. Anytime it's a man with a mental illness, they'll tell that man to get help. Don't use that as an excuse. We've all been through trauma. Get the help you need, but let it be a female. And then want to use that as their excuse for their fucked behavior. Oh, she did this because she suffered from mental illness. Oh, she did this because she was touched as a child. I don't give a rat's ass what you went through. Accountability goes for men and for women. Whatever bullshit you went through as a kid or as a young teenager, get the help for it. I look at it like this. Whatever trauma you went through as in the past, that's not your fault. But when you don't get the help for the trauma, that's when the blame falls on you. You go through life taking your anger on other people because of your illness. That's a you problem after that. So, and it goes for men and for women. I know guys personally who've been through some mental illness, but they got the help that they needed. They're not out here running people over with cars or pushing people on expressways and stuff like that, stabbing people. Because they took accountability for it. So it can be done. But our society is just so quick to make women the victims of every damn thing that happens in this world. It's bullshit. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, my girl. That's my take on it.
And I would like for Anti-Hyena, please get on to this panel, because I know you had something to say. I wanted to read something that I saw online. This was posted by a woman. Like I said, women love to add this in, but I'm going to read it like I see it. It says that Danielle believed in astrology and felt the eclipse would bring upon an apocalypse. Okay. And then it says in a Twitter post, she warned her followers to wake up and pick a side. And then it says, I think Danielle may have been dealing with an undiagnosed mental illness, possibly postpartum depression from her recent delivery. Like I said in my previous post about honor killings, people will hide behind certain beliefs to do evil, or they may suffer a mental health illness. Jalen was an Air Force vet. Thank you for your service. That's what this woman posted. She gave him one little line. Air Force vet, thank you for your service. That's it. But Danielle gets this undiagnosed. The thing about, I think, the Black community, especially Black women, like with me, when I had issues with women online, what did they do to me? They started diagnosing me. I hear somebody chewing or something. Is everybody muted? Yeah, everybody's muted. That's weird. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so what I was trying to say was, dang, I lost my thought. What was I saying? Oh, so when I was online holding people accountable and doing things and I had fallouts with other people, I noticed that a lot of them would say, I'm battling a mental health issue. Oh, she lost her mother, so she's going through depression. She's sick. She's a narcissist. She's a personality disorder. She's bipolar. They were giving me all these clinical diagnoses, and they are not even qualified to do that. But that's what Black women do, because that is what they are going through. They're the narcissists. They're the ones that are suffering from personality disorder. They're calling accountability me being a narcissist. But I noticed that. So with Danielle, it's easy for Black women that have kids to say, oh, I know what she's going through postpartum. I gave birth too, so I can feel that. I know she, listen, the doctor said on TV, as you give birth more than once, the second time it's easier. You know what the symptoms are. You can ask for help in an easier fashion. Usually first time mothers, they go through postpartum the worst because this is a first for them. So after 9 years and you pop out another baby, it shouldn't be the same because now you know. It's like, for instance, if you were to get robbed, right? And you've never been robbed before, you could say what you're going to do, but you're not going to do that when it happens. So let's say you get robbed. Now you got a security system. Now you got a gun. So now the second time it shouldn't happen again. Am I right? Because you're prepared. You now know what to expect. So what I'm saying is Danielle lived in an apartment that was the minimum. It's about $4,500 a month is the minimum. The highest you can pay there is almost $6,000 a month. And she wasn't paying that by herself. So to live in a beautiful part of Cali like that means you got money. She was driving a Porsche SUV. So at the end of the day, the woman had money. She had the means. At any time, she could have asked for help. We don't know what the argument was about, but somebody's going to blame him. Well, he's an Air Force vet. Maybe he was suffering from, a depression or PTSD. Maybe he wasn't ready to live with someone and he should have got help. They're going to find a way to blame Jalen. Even though Jalen was a casualty of this incident, he's still going to be blamed. Well, maybe he shouldn't have made her mad. Maybe he told her that she wasn't good looking. He didn't like dry wigs. Maybe women are going to make this about him in a negative way. And Danielle's going to be the innocent flower. Because you have women saying, pray for Danielle's family. Pray for Danielle. We're hoping she's in heaven. They forgot all about the vet. They forgot all about the 8-month-old, the 9-year-old. Okay, so I'm gonna go round table. I first wanted to hear from Anti-Hyena because it was your page. I saw it on first. When I saw your community chat, that made me do more research. So Anti-Hyena, how you doing, hon?
Hi, I got about 5 minutes and then I have to get to class. But
okay, go ahead.
I was gonna do a video on it, but as I looked into it and read it, I couldn't get past the baby. So it was really emotional for me.
Okay.
But I already had women on my comment section, and they're not being negative or anything, but they're already screaming mental health, mental health, mental health. And I feel like we got to stop bringing mental health as a pass for these women to do these horrendous things. Like it's not okay. Even the situation where I posted a video about another woman who unalived her babies and tried to unalive herself and she survived. A lot of people say, well, her ex-husband looks abusive and da-da-da. I'm like, are you kidding me? And the ex-husband was on the news crying his eyes out, and you talking about he seemed abusive? Like, where did that come from? It's like they always make excuses for the women when the women are the ones who are making these monsters or are a part of horrendous things. We're the root.
Anti-Hyena, do you have kids?
I have 5.
You have 5 kids?
Yes.
And these are all your kids?
All my babies.
Okay. Did you go through postpartum?
I did with my second son, but it didn't last a long time and it wasn't severe. And I think it was more based off of my circumstances more than anything.
How did you deal with did you ask for help or did you cry inside? Did you suffer in silence?
I asked the doctor to look into it.
Okay.
And I talked to, they had some type of special nurse that I was able to talk to. And then they said I was okay to go.
So let me ask you this. When you had your very first child, because you have 5, so nobody can say that you're not speaking from a mother's perspective. So before you had your first child, before you gave birth, did the hospital prepare you for what's going to happen when you become a first-time mother?
Yes. It was they had like, as far as birth-wise, but they give you pamphlets and things that you could get, like if you experience postpartum and all that other, they give you a lot of paperwork.
Okay, so when you were pregnant with your first child, did you know anything about postpartum depression?
Yeah, that's because they gave the information all through the hospital.
So you knew that if you exhibited any of those signs in the pamphlet, you knew what
you
to
gotta
do?
let somebody know.
Okay. So as you had your the next 4 kids, you said the second one is when you experienced it. So after you dealt with it, you knew what to expect if you chose to have more kids, which you did. But you knew how to prepare yourself for the next kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can postpartum be a reason to murder your boyfriend and then drive on a freeway and push your kids out of a car? Does postpartum do that?
If postpartum was even capable of doing that, it would just have to be random, not because of an argument. It would, you know.
Thank you,
the
Anti-Hyena.
neighbor said,
thank you.
The neighbor said she heard a bad argument, so I feel like it was purely based on emotion.
Yeah, that's they call it crime of passion. Would you agree with that?
No.
No, you said no. You just said crime of passion is when you kill someone in the heat of the moment.
I think she just didn't get what she wanted.
Okay. And
I think it's other things, because from what you're showing me as far as her music and stuff, it seemed like the guy kind of let her do whatever she wants. Kind of like what Shira Seven's husband does.
Hold on, please. Go ahead, Anti.
Kind of like how Shira Seven's husband do, just kind of let her be on YouTube and just whatever. She don't have to worry about bills and stuff, and she just creates her own persona. That's the energy she giving me. And he could have said, you know, maybe slow down on this or not do that or something, and it could have just set her off because she seems very controlling.
And I feel like that was probably the last argument she was going to have. I don't think that was their first argument. But the fact that she tried to drag his body and hide it, that tells me that's not a mental illness. At one point, she thought if his body's out, then she said, F it, I'm just going to leave the door open. She left the door open, grabbed the kids, and then she darted out. I mean, she ran through the gate getting out. You don't think she had the means to get out the right way? So she left in a hurry.
She was definitely a murderer, because they said that she tried to pull the body out. Like, she trying to get rid of the evidence, and since he was too heavy, she left him there.
Facts. No, she didn't leave him there. She ended up dragging him into the kitchen.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm just saying, the things that she did, people that are not all there, they don't have time to double back and say, oh, let me try to. No, they just act. They act and they get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, so Anti-Hyena, I know you got to go to class, boo, so we'll talk about this some more later, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next I'm gonna go ahead and let Classy go ahead.
Hello, Daphne. Hey, how's it going? I just want to say I would like to thank you for doing this story. I can't speak on it for many different reasons, but I just want to say, if any of y'all need some help, if it's to talk to Daphne or anybody, please go get some help. And I digress. I know about this story, so I can't speak on it, but go ahead.
No, hold on. Classy, what do you think about this though? I would love to hear your opinion on what.
Well, I think my personal opinion, it goes off of what Anti-Hyena said. That's just my opinion. But like I said, for violations of hospital reasons, I can't speak on the other stuff. But
okay, so you're saying that your opinion is different. So you think that she did this all out of the postpartum?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so what's your opinion? I want to know.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think it goes back to what Anti-Hyena is. I agree with her. I think this has something to do with something she didn't get. Because obviously, I mean, one thing that I know for a fact that I can't speak on, they lived in a very good neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
They were rich.
I know her address. Money. I looked up the address. I looked at the floor plan. It was like a castle. You hear apartment and you think it's little. That place was beautiful.
Huge. I mean, it was beautiful.
Shoot.
Yes.
Man, please. So, she was living good. She was living great.
She was living very well. Yes. Absolutely.
And him being a vet, you think some of his funds contributed to that?
Possibly.
They're saying that he was an airman. He was an airman. Yes. That was his current job.
I can speak to that. Yes, he was. Okay. Yes.
Do you know how much airmen make? Because I don't know that field. That's not me.
No, I do not know. No.
But they make good money, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's no way she could have been funding that place, driving a Porsche, and doing that all on her own from social media.
No way.
Okay. Thank you for that, Classy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hang on, because I'm gonna come back to you. The Roger Report. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Roger Report. I know you did a little bit of research on this story. What do you got to say, hon?
Man, this story is about as normal as it gets.
Okay.
You got a woman who got mad at a man, so she killed him. There's really not much more there to it than that. She got mad at the man, so she killed the man because she wants to control that man, obviously. This is a situation where I'm sure they had the argument. Obviously, the neighbors heard it. The guy trusts the woman to a certain degree. He did have a baby by her. He is a military man. Yeah, he was an airman. And if that's what his position was, because I didn't hear his position, but if that was his position, yeah, that's not a cheap position. You got to work a little bit to become one of those. So obviously, he was making really good money. And at the end of the day, because he trusted her, she was able to kill him. Because this is a serviceman. These are people trained to kill other people if necessary. So you don't just kill a serviceman. He has to be able to, he has to trust you so you can get close enough to do that, or it's going to be another trained killer. You know, a lot of people, we don't think about the military like that. But when you go to the military, one of the first things they do is train you how to kill people properly. So this is not just a pushover type of situation. The man probably went to sleep or something and got killed. He probably got killed after the arguing and all that had stopped. He went to sleep more than likely, and then that's when she stabbed him up. But if there was something wrong with her mentally, she wouldn't understand, well, let me go hide the body. Because she had a plan. If y'all think about what she did, she definitely had a plan. She might have killed them, you know what I'm saying, without thinking that all the way through. But once she did kill them, she did want to remove the body. She did take the 2 kids out. Now, the fact that she tried to get rid of the children, that should let you know she wasn't planning on coming back as it was. She accepted her life was over, at least as she knew it. So the whole thing was, let me drop the kids off somewhere. Somebody will get the kids and they'll end up wherever they end up. You know what I'm saying? Possibly with family if people identify who the kids are, which is a likely scenario when you live around any city. Somebody's going to find your kid and they're going to figure out who the kids are, because the oldest one was 9-year-old. She could figure out who grandma is or granddaddy or something, more than likely, or they can put her picture out there in the news. The kids more than likely would have been found. But she's panicking because this is a situation where she knows she killed somebody. She know the life she had is now over, period. And more than likely, she was going to kill herself anyway, because what was she doing? She was trying to avoid accountability from killing somebody. She knew she was a murderer, and she acted like a murderer. So I don't know why people are saying something's wrong with her. If you act like a murderer and you have murdered somebody, I don't see how you don't understand the connection that's clearly there. So saying postpartum or anything else is just nonsense at this point. A person who murdered somebody acted just like a murderer. Why would I think anything else?
Yeah, that's true. And that's pretty deep. You said she committed murder, then she murdered herself. That happens more often than people like to think. Reminds me, yeah, and this kind of reminds me about a few months ago where you had this man who went into a Baltimore bowling alley shooting people up or whatever, then shot himself before police caught him. Yeah, kind of like that.
Well, I'm saying that when she killed him, whether it was a plan at first or not, obviously she got enraged enough to do it. But once the killing happened, she acted like a murderer. She didn't even act like a person who killed a person who was remorseful or regretted. No, she acted like a murderer. How do I hide the body? And did attempt to. Why y'all think she moved the body? She wasn't attempting to hide the body. She acted like a murderer.
Right.
A murderer hides bodies.
So it was more in the heat of the moment. Last minute.
I'm saying she may have been enraged to a point where she was going to kill him. She can't just take this man out. He's an airman. She can't just take him out.
Right.
She waits for him to go to sleep. She's mad. She stabs him up. Because how you gonna kill a military trained man unless he went to sleep? If you another man, that's already hard to do. A woman did it. Come on now. We got to be realistic about the situation. You just don't easily kill military trained men. Okay, the first thing they do is start training you how to kill people when you get to the military. And I guess I shouldn't say it exactly that way, but that is the truth of the matter. That's what they do with you when you join the military. That's one of the first things they start you on. They get you in basic training and start teaching you things that's going to lead up to you ending somebody's life.
Right.
So how you going to get that guy unless he trusts you enough to go to sleep?
Okay, so it said that he was a senior airman in the 31st Squadron. As a squadron, I don't know how to say this word, armament technician. So yeah, he was making money. That was his job. He actually did have a job. And I'm with you, Roger. They said that he was stabbed on the couch. So If she waited, if the 9-year-old says that he was asleep when she did it, because mind you, I think when she tried to move the body, that is when the 9-year-old probably came out. And then she figured at that point, now I got witnesses. I got a witness that can actually talk. At 9 years old, we know how to talk, right? We know she wouldn't have been able to say my mommy did it. So at that point, the whole plan had to change. And she just acted at the spur of the moment. But they said that the blood trail led all the way to the elevator. So she really did try to attempt to take this man's body to the elevator. And then she realized he was too heavy. Then she ended up dragging him back in the house into the kitchen. So what I'm saying is at one point, the daughter witnessed this act. And then she just went off the rails with that. So at the end of the day, we cannot give passes to somebody who decided to do something like that. The neighbor said that wasn't the first time they've argued. So clearly, maybe she was spending too much. We don't know. Only the 9-year-old knows. What we do know is that she did kill her boyfriend. She did attempt to kill both her kids, and only one got killed. And how that 8-month-old baby got killed was tragic. And now that's in that 9-year-old's head. Some of them will think, I did this. I was supposed to hold on and protect my sister. But the mom, Danielle, pushed her so hard, she dropped the baby while the car was still moving. Remember, the car was still moving. Then while she's probably watching the kids try to fiend for their life, one gets killed, the other one's trying to run off the road, run on the side of the shoulder. She continues at speeds of 105 until she runs into a tree. So all I'm saying, you guys, is that this type of behavior is not something we're just going to say mentally ill. We can't keep saying that, ladies. And if you are, like Classy said, going through something like postpartum, and you don't know how to tell your doctor, you don't know how to tell the person you're with, then let me know and I'll help you. I'll be your voice. Because honestly, I feel like there's too much out there for you women for you to be silent. I'm sorry. But me working in mental health and me going into the hospitals and seeing the resources, like a woman on the side of the road saying her and her kids are hungry. Shit like that pisses me off. How are you hungry when you can easily go down to child services and get everything your heart desires? Because you have a kid and you're a woman. There's too much out there. Y'all just heard Anti-Hyena say when she first gave birth, they prepared her, gave her pamphlets. Hey, if you're feeling this way, talk to us. We got your back. It didn't happen the first child. It happened her second. So if you guys are, according to y'all, if it was the second baby that did it and made her experience that, she knew what to do. So stop it. Stop. We're not playing that game here tonight. We're not.
Well, I want to say something real quick too, because as I was looking into the story, now I didn't catch the speed of the vehicle when the children were pushed out the vehicle.
I got you, Roger. Hold that thought. I got your back. Check this out. I replayed that because I know some people just came on. Here you go.
Crushed Porsche Cayenne, the deadly end of a trail of violence. The mother behind the wheel, 34-year-old Danielle Johnson, taking her own life by slamming into a tree in Redondo Beach after allegedly killing 2 others, including her 8-month-old daughter, when she threw the infant and her 9-year-old sister out of the car on the freeway.
The suspect slowed the vehicle and opened the passenger door for her daughter and then told her to get out of the car. And when the daughter didn't do that, she then forcibly pushed her out of the vehicle in the middle of the freeway while moving, while the 9-year-old was holding the 8-month-old baby.
The baby fell to the pavement and was struck and killed by a passing vehicle. The 9-year-old managed to make it to the shoulder with moderate injuries. A horrifying ending to carnage that began hours earlier for the sole survivor of the violence. Eyewitness News has learned the 9-year-old witnessed her mother stab her live-in boyfriend, 29-year-old Jalen Cheney, to death in their Woodland Hills apartment.
That little girl obviously saw more than she ever should have seen in any life yesterday. So I just hope someone's taking care of her because she's going to need it.
Investigators say Johnson killed Cheney early Monday morning after a fight, then rammed the garage gate as she fled with her daughters. Detectives say a short time later, Johnson pushed the little girls out of her car on the 405 and drove away. Her final act, crashing into a tree at more than 100 miles per hour. Detectives still searching.
100 miles per hour. There you go.
Well, see what I was saying is, I know she killed herself at over 100 miles an hour. I did know that part, but what I was saying was that because she did slow the vehicle down, We know for sure we slowed it down. We don't know exactly how much she slowed it down too. Why did she slow it down? She was panicking because she was acting like a murderer. She understood she committed murder. She slowed down so the kids could get out the car. She was just kind of panicking, I'm going to say, because she didn't go she obviously didn't go all the way over to the I'm trying to think what's the area on the expressway
The
where
405, the shoulder.
The
right, yeah,
405.
the shoulder. She didn't go over to the shoulder to push the kids out. Had she pushed the kids out on the shoulder, the kids are still alive. So her whole thing was she had already decided my life is over at this particular point. She is panicking because she understands she murdered somebody. She knows she had no excuse. There was no way she was going to be able to make up a story that anybody was going to believe. And her whole thing was to get away. And she probably was going to kill herself anyway. Now, she may have just said, well, let me just go and slam myself into a tree. That's very possible she did that on purpose because she was going so fast when she killed herself. But what I'm saying is, a murderer slows down to let the other people out. A crazy person kills everybody. I'm slamming all three of us into this tree because I'm crazy. I'm nuts.
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna
Roger,
hold
that
you.
was big. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
But
I'm
I
sorry
ain't gonna
about that.
hold you.
Go ahead, First Prime.
I kind of gotta disagree with that a little bit. I get it that she slowed down, but when the child didn't want to get out the car, you don't just get mad and then forcibly push him out the car while you're on the freeway. There's other cars coming around. That doesn't
Right.
sound. That just sounds. You can't say that she wasn't thinking like a murderer. She was thinking dumb.
Well,
Like she
don't
knew
murderers
exactly
think
what she.
dumb? Hold on. First
Huh?
Prime, don't murderers think dumb? Once they
Yeah.
fucked up, don't they do dumb
Yeah.
shit
That's what I'm
like
saying.
push your kids out the car?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think that she was thinking like a murderer since she already knew she fucked up. So she just basically on, which I do agree with one part, like you said, she was panicking, but I don't, I don't see the point of saying she was hoping that somebody would probably pick him up. Then that just sounds weird to me. Then why
That's not what he
forcibly
said.
push him out?
Roger, can you clarify that part on what you said?
No,
Did you say
I'm
she was
saying
hoping for someone to pick him up?
what I'm saying is the whole thing was she accepted that I am a murderer, but she also was panicking. When you panic, you do dumb stuff. So the whole point was to get the kids out the car so they'll have a chance to live. She wasn't going to necessarily drag them down with her. If she wanted to drag the kids down with her, she'd have slammed herself into something with the kids still in the car. She was trying to let them out, but she was panicking at the same time. And in case we haven't figured it out, y'all, murderers make mistakes. That's why we catch them. They make mistakes, especially when they start panicking, which she did. That's how we get
Oh,
them.
okay,
That's how we
okay.
catch them.
Okay, not that. Okay, I can kind of see because like if she was panicking since she already knew what she was gonna do, like she was gonna speed into the tree, so she forcibly pushed him out so they didn't have to collide with her with the tree. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that making sense now.
You know, and if she really did care about her kids, she would have left them in that apartment and then went and took her own self out. As you know, if you listen to
That's
that news,
another thing.
if you listen to the news thing, it said that she ran through the gate. You know, she had the controller where she could have opened it up the right way. She went through that shit. Because at that
What,
point, she knew, like Roger said, well, fuck it. I might as well go on a blaze
what,
of glory. That's how it
what,
was.
well, I think she took the kids with her because she had yet to accept there was no way to get out. The only reason to let the kids out was she had to come to the understanding, I am not going to get away with this. At first, she was thinking, I'm going to get away with this, which is why she tried to move the body. When you cannot move the body, she brought the body back to the apartment to change the plan on how to get away with it. She figured there's nothing I can really do with this body without any help. So kids, come on, maybe I can run and go somewhere else. Now think about it. She's driving in the car. She understands what she did. She just simply figured out there is no way I'm going to get away with this. So I'm going to let the kids out and just accept my punishment, or I'm going to go hide somewhere. And I think before she slammed it, see, the thing about the tree is that could either be her bad driving because she cannot handle a vehicle moving at 100 miles an hour well, or that was just her accepting for me to avoid all earthly consequences. I might as well take myself out. It was one of those two things because she's trying to get away. And that's all it was. It's harder to get away with the kids with her. But her trying to not be held accountable for the situation was simply more important than those kids were. And that's all, which is hard for people to accept. But that's the reality of it. Me getting in the way is more important than these kids. I'm gonna let them out. Somebody will find them. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And then as she's driving again, she's accepting because she knows all the details that we don't even know yet. She already understood. Ain't no way in the world I'm getting away with this. So either she just crashed because she couldn't handle the car at that speed, or she decided, let me go and take myself out now, so I ain't got to deal with going to court and getting sentenced and all that other stuff.
So, guys, I wanted to remind you guys that Danielle had over 100,000 followers on Twitter, and she had tweeted over 200,000 times. So, with most of her following, it was black women. So, when women say, "Well, yeah, I remember last year," hold on, I'm hearing a lot of static.
That's
Somebody,
probably me.
okay, thank you. Some of the women were saying, I remember her tweets from last year. She used to say some weird stuff about the earth and the moon, and she'll burn these boards and burn these candles. Okay, so if you women saw this, how come you did not call out or report the behavior? Do you know how easy it is to report the behavior of someone that you don't think is moving properly, that you think could be in danger? It's not hard to report it. They have many different ways you can do it anonymously. But a lot of these women tend to turn a blind eye because they're women too, and they don't see the wrong. That is why people like Rhoda and Jasmine and all these other women get to exploit kids and hurt kids because people don't care. Then when I step in and I hold them accountable and I report them to CPS and I report, oh, well, now they're going to be in the system. Well, you know, her 9-year-old is in the custody of DCFS right now until they get the dad, who's a trucker. So what I want you guys to know is that that's where they're going to go when parents do shit like this. If you don't call the behavior out early, this is potentially the outcome. So while you guys are calling me a snitch, understand why I do what I do. Not to hurt people, to help people. This woman could have been saved if one of those women said something about the tweets that she was putting out last year. They could have saved her. She talked about her daughter. She talked about her situation plenty of times. But on the day that she did this act, I'm going to read her tweet verbatim. She said, wake up, the apocalypse is here. Everyone who has ears, listen. Your time to choose what to believe is now. If you believe a new world is possible for the people right now, there is power in choice. Repost to make the choice for the collective. That's what she said. And everyone said that was a cryptic message that I'm going to kill today. I'm not buying that. Because if you type in apocalypse on her page, she was saying this shit back in 2016 too. So let's not do that. It's easy to search, not hard. We're not doing that. There was also an eclipse in 2017, and she talked about that too. So again, let's not blame that. It was the argument. Whatever her and Jalen, let's stop calling him live-in boyfriend and put some respect on this veteran's name. I think it is so disgusting when they lower somebody like that. He was a veteran who fought for this fucking country. Not to be called no live-in boyfriend. He was probably paying majority of the bills. All she was doing was reading poems and telling people I can see dead spirits. That doesn't really pay big bills. It doesn't really take care of like your living if you're paying almost $6,000 a month. I promise you, she didn't make that off of reading poems. Jalen probably contributed to majority of that money because this man fought and he had a really good job. And it's saying here he could have been making up to $100,000 a year by himself. So honestly, he was probably the one doing all this, all the work. And maybe he had enough. We don't know. What we do know is they said they were together a few years. And I want to read something that Danielle put out, the woman that you guys are calling mentally ill. This is another one of her tweets that she had wrote. She said, let me find it. I'm sorry, I had it open. Went away. Hold on. I just had it open too.
Well, while you look for that, let me just throw out here too. Jalen might have just simply asked, he might have said no to something she wanted or was talking about scaling down because Jalen got a child now. He's already with a woman who got one kid. Now the second kid comes into play. We're going to have to change our lifestyle a little bit because I got to prepare for these kids a little bit better. And sometimes the other kid benefits off your kid. So he might have been like, I'm going to put my daughter in private school. And maybe he was thinking I'll put her daughter in private school too, because I'm not going to necessarily treat them differently, which means we might have to scale some stuff down, which means her playing on the internet. Now I'm gonna say this because I don't know, but if she was making any type of big money on the internet, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna dig that out and tell us she was making a significant income.
Right.
So until they say it, I gotta think she was probably making just regular money or even peanuts. Just because you have a bunch of followers does not mean a bunch of money come with it. It can in some cases, but it's not in every case.
Thank you, Roger, because her following on YouTube, it's not big. On Instagram, it's not big. Her biggest following came from Twitter, 100,000 followers. And again, when I looked her up, she did not have a job. Only Jalen has a job. If you want to call, reading palms and telling people online, I can see your deceased relatives. That to me is not a real job that pays. That's like a scam. Okay. So all this mystic readings and I can read your palms and you're a Scorpio, so you're freaky. That's stuff that we can get off Google, right? So at the end of the day, this is what she said on March. This was March the 7th. This is how I know that her mind was where it needed to be. Because one thing about Black women, they love throwing this word around because they call me that all the time. But she said, people who are narcissistic and self-serving don't miss you until you are gone. And then they blame you for leaving. Don't give them another chance to call you stupid for staying without calling you stupid for staying. That's what she said. So she clearly knows what a narcissist is, right? But if you listen to her song from 3 years ago, she said, you deserve what I'm putting you through. So I'm not going to say sorry. So, I mean, listen to that. Someone telling you I'm not going to say sorry to you because you deserve the shit I'm putting you through and I'm going to keep putting you through it. That's kind of like a narcissistic trait if you want to go off of that word. But let me read something else. This is something else that she said too. And this came from the same woman that you're calling mentally ill. There are good men out there. After my last relationship, which was her husband, which did not end yet, I did a lot of work to remove any beliefs that followed the rhetoric that men are liars, cheaters, and shitty. Then I lined up with my man. I knew him for years before I got with him, and he's never been a liar or cheater in his relationships. Going into things with knowing that made me feel like I could give it a try. We've been maturing and growing together, but all you need are the basics to build an amazing relationship. Review your parents and family and relationships you've seen very honestly. This is what you will instinctively attract. If you don't like that, take the time to reprogram your unconscious. Then the basics will be easier to find in one person, and you can be happy with your new boo. That is from Danielle. So she knew how to form a relationship, build a relationship, acknowledge your faults. She said that Jalen wasn't a cheater. Jalen wasn't shitty. Jalen wasn't crazy. So why did she kill him? These are the tweets that she put out. Her last relationship was a marriage. And according to the dockets, they're still married. It has not been finalized. But she still got with Jalen. And she said that Jalen is treating her well. So again, like what Roger said, maybe he said no for once. Because when you're living in the area she was living in, it can get costly. They're driving a Porsche. That was a really nice Porsche SUV. And them cars are not cheap. Maybe that was Jalen's Porsche. We don't know. All I do know is that this man had a great job. She didn't have a job on file. She was a social media person. Twitter was her favorite thing. And she loved to sing. Y'all heard the music. The music was depressing. So she wanted to be a recording artist. When I found her second Twitter, she has the LGBT flag. That was another red flag for me. So is she bisexual? What's going on? Because on her second page that she has for her music, she has that flag, the rainbow flag. So at the end of the day, I did my research on her. But what bothers me is how nobody is giving Jalen the respect he deserves. He's not a criminal. He's a good guy, a very good guy. And she confirmed that through her tweets. So somebody that's not all there, you would see it in stuff like that. She knew what a narcissist was because that's what she probably was. Her music is very bad and you have to read the lyrics. She's on Apple Music and you can easily click on the lyrics and read them. I didn't make up any of that caption that you saw. Hey, Roger, did you see that video that I posted of her song? The little snippet? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think she sung it because that's what she believes. Real talk. I think those were words from her heart. you know, and I mean, she ain't the first woman to have that attitude. So like to me, there's really not something that I don't see normally popping up among sisters, not taking accountability. You know, you get mad, you have a bad reaction, a lot of times going overboard. Now, if you kill somebody, come on, that is kind of overboard if they wasn't threatening you. And I really don't believe she was being threatened, because I'm looking at what the victim is. And the victim is a trained killer. That's somebody who reacted and went overboard. That's why that man is dead. You, you just don't take out trained killers, y'all. And I know people say, well, you know, he a military. Every military man is a trained killer.
Facts.
Yeah, because I was in the military, and yeah, because trust me, we are.
Well, they're
Yeah.
saying that he was killed on the couch, and then she pulled his body down and dragged him. So I'm with Roger. I think she waited for the argument to die down, because the neighbors said it was very, very loud. They were arguing. They could hear her over him. So she was the aggressor when it comes to the tonality. They heard her over him. She was overpowering her voice. So for it to be like that, and then they said it stopped. Then it just stopped. So I don't know how that went about, but he was on the couch. So I don't know if she came up from behind him. I don't know how the couch was, but I saw the layout of their apartment. Beautiful. If it looks like the model, it is beautiful. It's huge. You're getting a lot for that amount of money. Where they live, it's not cheap. You don't know many people that live there. It's very expensive. So they were paying for that lifestyle. And like I said, her driving through the gate like that tells me, like Roger said, okay, now I got to go to another plan. Now I'm on the freeway and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't want them, because if she would have ran that car into the tree with those two kids, they would have probably went through the windshield. And it would have been very, very, very disgusting for these cops to have to see that. They were already in tears seeing a baby on the road. Good Samaritans had to see that too, just so you know. So what I'm saying is, if you know that a woman is going through postpartum, y'all got to check on them too. And fellas, if you're having babies with these women and their whole tone, their whole mood is off, y'all got to start doing y'all research and helping them out too. Because a lot of them, maybe they don't want to tell you, maybe they forgot what was in the pamphlet. There's a lot of women who think that they can outdo it and I can beat this and it's not going to bother me, I'm okay, and they're not okay. So some of you men have to also step up. But for those women who know what it is and they're ignoring it, that isn't okay, because you're allowing it to manifest and become greater to where you can't control it. They said that some of these women will start hallucinating and believing things that are not there. That's how bad it can get. So at the end of the day, if her second baby brought on this type of trauma, this woman had all the resources to get the help. And she does have a family. Now, I went to her family's pages and none of them are posting because they're probably embarrassed.
Well, you know what? I gotta say that. See, and this is the thing, because she was making her money through social media and she did have a lot of subscribers. It's easy to guess that she has a big range. She could have been making 30,000 a year. She could have been making 100,000 a year. It's, you know what I'm saying? But there's too many variables to know without really knowing more information than her subscriber count. There's a lot of variables on social media, y'all. It really is. So you can have a channel with 100,000. And I dare say they could be making less than channels that got 5,000. That stuff does actually happen.
Okay.
So the range is different. So I think money definitely was there, but I do believe because you have a man who now has his own child, and y'all got to think about this dynamic. That 9-year-old was not his kid. We can do certain stuff because that 9-year-old ain't my kid. But once my kid come into the picture, we're gonna have to change some stuff. So I believe restrictions were being introduced, and she got tired of new restrictions coming into play. And the argument probably has something to do with some newer restriction he was putting on because he was going to change their lifestyle some. Because it's one thing if I'm here and it's your kid, it's a whole other thing with my kid here. So, your kid gonna have to adopt to some stuff because I got a kid here and I'm gonna treat my daughter well. So that means your daughter by default will get treated a little bit better. That we know it might have been talks about putting their kids in private school. Who knows what was going on? So I just think it was changes coming, but she probably was just free to spend her own money because the man was making so much money. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
she probably had no real restrictions on what she could or couldn't do with her money. And he probably didn't care that much. And if she did pay some of the bills, it's like, okay, I'm gonna pay my little portion and then I can do the rest, whatever I want to do. Because obviously they spending money. She riding around in the Porsche, y'all. They spending the bread. So once you start telling a woman it's gonna be a lot more restrictions in the future because we got to make some adjustment because now I got a child in the picture, everybody just ain't gonna accept that. And obviously she didn't.
So,
That's my opinion. She just wouldn't accept it.
okay, so there's something else that I read online too, because there's always going to be more information. They said the neighbor heard them arguing the night before too. So this didn't just stem from that day. It stemmed from the night before. The neighbor said they heard them arguing, and then they even said when the police entered the apartment after everything happened, they found tarot cards and black feathers in the apartment. So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what it said, black feathers. So I don't know what this is about. I don't know if she tried to leave them cards and feathers there to make it seem like, she was casting a spell. But at the end of the day, the neighbor said that they heard them arguing the night before. And we know that she's, according to the footage, that was in the daytime. So it had to be calculated. He had to have said, you know what? You could sleep in the room. I'm gonna sleep on the couch. You know how men are. When men don't want to argue with you and they're gonna let you win and let you have your way, they're gonna let you take the room. They'll sleep on the couch. She stabbed him while he was on the couch. So I'm thinking, okay, we argued the night before. They both went to bed, and then she planned what she was gonna do the next day. Catch him slipping. Get up early in the morning, do a little tarot readings, and then did what she wanted to do. Started out, I don't know, but at the end of the day, what this woman did was horrific, and I couldn't imagine what those cops had to see on that freeway. I think seeing an 8-month-old baby ran over, I think that would make me quit that day on my job. That's something I hope to never see. They had to see that, and just imagine the 9-year-old. They still have to question that 9-year-old. That's going to be the hardest part of this whole case. This is going to take a long time before we come to the facts and the conclusion of this case, because they have to first let this young girl, process everything that happened before they get somebody to talk to her. They're going to give her coloring books, let her color, let her do things to take her mind off it before they question her. Remember, she's 9 years old. All I can say, guys, is that I know postpartum depression is real. We know that. But if this is what it does, we would see more of these cases every day. But we don't. We don't, for a reason. Because the hospitals prepare you for what you can potentially go through. And then you have the black women saying, black women aren't even heard in the hospitals. What if she was crying for help and they didn't help her? That's an assumption. We have no proof of that. But Anti-Hyena told us when she was pregnant with her first child, when she's going to her doctor visits, doing all the little checkups, they give you well enough information. They tell you what symptoms you'll go through. She didn't go through it with her first child. It hit her with the second one. But she still had 3 more kids after that because she got the help. So why are you guys acting like this woman wasn't in the position where she could have asked for help? She had no problem tweeting. I even saw some tweets where she was talking stuff about people, calling them busted people. You don't make no money. I got more money than you. I can pay your rent. She was going in on people. So her mind was there. Her mind was there. She might have been doing tarot readings, but she was also talking crap too. Those 200,000 tweets weren't just reading your palm. So all I'm trying to tell you guys today is that we have to start acknowledging that this behavior, all of it is not a mental illness. We have to stop saying that. And I am a mental health advocate, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, yeah, this is something that people do with postpartum. That isn't right. If she was seeing a therapist, they would have said that. If she was seeing a life coach, they would have said that. She wasn't doing any of those things. They're still looking for the motive. Why? And once we find out the truth, maybe we'll know more. But until then, her husband will be able to tell us more because he left her for a reason. They stopped living together for a reason. He was in a whole nother state. There's a reason for that. So again, he has the key too to her character, because her family's not going to tell us the truth. That the family's going to say she was a wonderful singer. She can read your palm. She can tell you when the lottery numbers. They're going to make it seem like this woman was sweet as pie. And we know that's a fucking lie. So at the end of the day, guys, we have to start acknowledging this behavior. And this is why I do what I do online. Because if I don't do this, you're going to have more people dying. That's how I take this. That is how I take this. A lot of y'all don't like what I do, but I'm gonna keep doing it. Roger, at the end of the day, I want to ask you this question. Do you think that if she had survived that impact, they would have said it was a mental illness and checked her into a facility? Or do you think they would have locked her ass up?
I mean, the news would have claimed that at first until she was actually caught because she was gonna run. If that woman would have stayed alive for whatever reason, because I think she might have killed herself anyway, depending upon all those cryptic messages. She truly believed the apocalypse was coming. She may not have thought she had much more time left regardless, but if she wouldn't have killed herself, she definitely was going to be on the run. So, yeah, they'll say that at first, but after a while, if you catch her, you're going to be like, okay, now this is just a murderer because she did these steps that we expect murderers to do. And that's all I'm saying. She did the steps that murderers do. Okay? A murderer, because sometimes you kill somebody, but it's not a good reason. So it is a murder. A murder tries to cover their tracks. A murder would make a second plan when the first plan don't work. A murder will start removing witnesses. A murder will try to disappear. She did what murderers do. That's all I'm saying. That's an actual fact. She literally did what murderers do. And I'm pretty sure she waited on that man to go to sleep before she did whatever she did to him. Because if that's not the case, then I have to believe that this woman was able to take out this military trained man who seemed to be in pretty good shape. Because I've seen some of the pictures they put out there of him. So you beat that guy? Okay. Yeah. And if that's the truth, then I'm selling ice cream in hell. You know what I'm saying?
So, hey, First Prime, do you agree with what Roger said? What do you think? Do you think that if she would have survived the impact, do you think they would have arrested her, or do you think they would have checked her into a mental facility? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Roger, mainly because judging how there's a lot of people trying to make excuses for her, she probably honestly would have gotten away to getting into a mental hospital, which is honestly crazy because I just, even though I would say I would like for her to go to prison, especially after pulling shit like that, but I just see it's after what Roger said, that makes a complete sense because if she literally survived, she would have 100% been on the run. And then the moment the truth came out, she probably would have tried to end it there, but she at that point she most likely would have gotten caught and would have been, what do they call it when people are on the watch but they have suicidal thoughts? I forgot what they call that, but they basically would have been watching her so she don't do anything, so she can be held accountable.
A schizo?
But yeah, is that what they call it?
You said suicidal thoughts?
Yeah, like if somebody want to commit suicide and basically they have people watch them. Oh, okay.
They'd be on suicide watch. That's pretty much what that is. But here's
I do
the
that.
thing.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You can finish. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was going to say earlier about the whole postpartum depression thing. If it was that bad for people to give it people like this an excuse, don't y'all think, this might be a little off topic, but don't y'all think that fathers should be having more custody by that logic then? If this is like a huge possibility to happen like that, then shouldn't like the husband should have had custody of the kid so this doesn't happen, so the mother can get help?
They're not gonna let you say that because you didn't push it out of your body. They did. So women are always gonna get favor. Women are always gonna get favor no matter how bad the crime is because they pushed out a kid. They bring life into the world. Women are looked at like that, especially when they do things that are horrendous like this. So unfortunately, they'll say, why would they give the baby to the dad when he didn't push the baby out? That's the way they're going to always do it. And truth be told, men go through depression too. They go through postpartum depression too. First-time fathers, yes, they do. It has been proven. So women, it ain't just you. You might have carried and delivered the baby, but now this man has to work harder. He now has to protect and provide for more than one person. So for him, it's stacked up against him too. You just have to sit there and be catered to and loved and supported and given all the resources. Put your feet up. Put this warm towel on you. Here's a masseuse. But this man still got to work 20 hours to now provide for his new growing family. So at the same time, men go through it too. They just don't get the acknowledgement because they didn't push the baby out. How fair is that? Men go through depression as well at high rates. It's different for them. So just like it's new for a first-time mother, it's new for a first-time father. So all I'm saying is, ladies, a lot of you are not doing it alone. The fathers are right there. So if you feel like you're going to throw your baby out of a window, then you need to speak up and say something. Because a lot of men, they can't read your mind. Doctors can't read your mind. You have to speak up. You have to say something. But that cannot be an excuse for killing people and hurting people. Because if we're going to do that, then we're going to say that Rhoda Osmond has a mental illness. Jasmine Moss has a mental illness. Carly Russell, her faking a whole kidnapping and blaming these people that lived in the woods with orange hair and blue eyes. That's a mental illness too, right? If you guys want to go there, we can say that all these women also had a mental illness. No, it won't work like that. It doesn't work like that. In the court of the law, they'll let you get evaluated by a therapist and they'll say, no, they fine. They all right. We can't keep giving women passes. Because I remember when Rhoda did what she did, y'all black women were on the front line. She's mentally ill. She's schizophrenic. She's bipolar. Y'all were diagnosing her and y'all never even went to school for it. That woman wasn't mentally ill. She was a lying motherfucker. That was her illness, a lying motherfucker. She was lying. Y'all forgot that she almost got a man unalived. That didn't matter to you guys. That she almost got somebody killed. What mattered is her crying on camera. I've never in my life. That was acting. She's not sick. She's not mentally ill. She just didn't get away with it this time because I was on her ass. I got her this time. That's why. She did it before. When she did it in 2020, she got a pass. She didn't get it this time. Jasmine Moss, 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. She had her 4-year-old daughter waxing vaginas at 4. And at any time, if that wax would have got on her daughter's skin, or if she would have gotten COVID, or if she would have gotten sick, what would you guys have said then if her daughter got hurt? What if she would have gotten robbed? Would she have still been this innocent mother? No, it's not a mental illness. So postpartum depression will make you tell your daughter you're also an esthetician. Even though I went to school for it and did it the legal way, you're now an esthetician. She's probably did over 100 Brazilian waxes from 4 years old to 5. That's not a mental illness. It's not. These women are not mentally ill. They know right from wrong. A lot of them have close to PhDs, diplomas. Danielle was going to school for a bachelor's degree. She just didn't finish. 2017, she enrolled in school for a bachelor's. So at the same time, you guys got to stop making excuses. The woman was not no medium where she can read, the spirits and all that. People think that, but it's not a true job. It's not real. It isn't. They know how to predict your life, but they can't give you them lottery numbers, though. Anybody that knows a psychic, tell them to give you the lottery numbers. I bet you $1,000 they can't do it. So stop. It's a scam. She's like Miss Cleo. Y'all remember Miss Cleo? Call me under. That was a scam. These women don't know what they're doing. They Google your sign. Okay, let me Google Scorpio. You are freaky. You love hard. Y'all, they're reading it right off of Google. Y'all got to stop believing these people with tarot cards. It's not real. But she's been doing this for years. This dates back to 2016 when she was talking about the moon and the stars. So let's not blame the eclipse for that. Let's not do that. That could have been her reasoning to make it seem like she was crazy. So y'all can say that she wasn't all there. Hello? What y'all
blaming the eclipse is so wild.
Yeah,
I can't believe people said that when they. Yeah. I'm like, what is this protect black woman like that? The daughter that she pushed out of the car wasn't black. Like, what are we talking about?
Man,
like I don't understand that logic. Like, what are we talking about? Protect black women? Like, we don't want to protect the daughter from experience and shit like this.
And here's the thing that hurts me. This woman had a big following. 80% of them were women. And those women, they saw what she was saying. They knew she had a child. They knew she had kids. And nobody saw what she was doing as alarming until she did the act. Then when she did the act, people that have been following her for years. Well, when I was following her last year and this year, she said this, but I didn't think nothing of it. Let me remind y'all something. Jasmine Moss got away with allowing her daughter to wax people for a whole year, from 4 years old to 5 years old. And not one female, not one of you women with kids said anything about her waxing grown ass women. I want y'all to just sit back. Think about what I just said. Jasmine Moss's daughter she was waxing for a whole year. That day when she told you she had all them clients, that was that day. But I have videos from last year when she was waxing people at 4 years old. She said, my 4-year-old daughter is on the right track to being a boss. She was 4. She got caught. When Jasmine got caught, her daughter was now 5. So ask yourself why these grown ass women who hate me and call me a snitch and say I'm bad and you never gave birth, so you don't know. How can y'all sit up there and let a 4-year-old wax you with your legs wide open and your vagina exposed? Ask yourself how this 4-year-old girl did it for a year and not one of these women, because you're not doing Brazilian waxes on men. You're not doing that. It's all women. So ask yourself how these women stay quiet for a whole year. And then when she goes viral one day and I speak up, I'm called every name in the book. But nobody failed to think, how did she get away with it for a year? Because Black women support Black women who do bad behavior, especially if they're mothers, because they're mothers. And they're looking at it like, this mother's trying to make a living. This mother is passing on deeds and LLCs. Her LLC, it wasn't even active. It was not even active. What LLC? And let me tell you something about Miss Moss. She's currently still waxing people out of her house after the state told her they would have to inspect her house to make sure it's up to code before you let clients in there. And she doesn't even realize how bad this is going to be for her. But see, at the end of the day, this is what women do. Y'all don't say nothing until it becomes a big problem. When Rhoda Osmond did her scam in 2020, her friend said, I'm going to just let you do you. I don't want any part of it. Instead of reporting her, she allowed Rhoda to blame it on a 6'5" Black man. And it was really a Black security guard that was a female. But that woman didn't say nothing. And then Rhoda repeats the scam. And then her ex-friend wants to say, well, I have video from the 2020 incident. I was there when she did it the first time, but you did nothing. So you're just as guilty as Rhoda. I was the one that gave the detective the ex-friend's number because she didn't call them. So how much of a person were you to let this woman scam twice when you could have stopped it after the first time? That's what Black women do. They support other Black women who do wrong, especially if they have kids, because they can relate. Well, yeah, I pushed out a kid too, and I know what you're feeling. No, ladies, we got to stop this behavior, or we're going to see a lot of dead kids because you're letting these mothers go untouched. You don't want nobody to tell on them. You don't want nobody to arrest them because you're looking at it like it's your friend, your sister, when you should be looking at it like this is wrong. And when a lot of you Black women get what I do, and you start to pass it on, this world's going to be beautiful. Because we as Black women, we have to also not only lift each other up, but let each other know when something isn't right. And we can't support it. We don't do that enough. Y'all call that snitching. If that woman did not send me that post that woman made in the group about doing something devious, like having your side dude bring you food, and you kiss him, and then you tell your actual live-in, the boyfriend that's in the house to come and tip him. And this is his house. 21,000 women saw that post, and only one woman reached out to me. 21,000 people. And you know what? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. In a group like that, 21,000 wouldn't see it. Because if they're all posting actively, it'll get pushed down. But I'm going to say at least 5 people saw it, and only one person reached out to me. So I know what I'm doing. It is slowly getting into these groups. People are so scared to post now. Post lies, that is. So a little bit of what I'm doing is helping. Y'all can call it fake. You can say whatever you want to, but I'm making a change. Because then when my name makes the news, then you say I want the clout. Pick a side. Which one is it? At the end of the day, guys, if we're not holding each other accountable, stuff like this is going to continue to happen. So to any woman out there experiencing postpartum depression, and you know you're going through it, and you're choosing not to ask for help because you don't know how to do it, I just highlighted my email. Reach out to me and I'll help you. Free of charge. I will help you. I will help you. Anti-hyena will help you. She has 5 kids. She knows what it is. She knows what it feels like. She's been through it and she overcame it because she asked for help. So here I am offering you guys help. If you refuse my help and then you go on TikTok and you start shaking your butt with your kid in the background, I will report your ass. I'm letting you ladies know today, if I see you doing behaviors with your kids online, I am not going to give you any chances. Let me tell you, when I saw what Jasmine Moss did, I came onto her page and I said, this is not right. Take it down. You're going to get in trouble. What did Jasmine do? She blocked me. Then I went ahead and called CPS. So for you guys who think that I'm evil, I have the receipts of me going to her page and telling her that. And she blocked me. So a lot of you women think I just go on and attack. I don't. I give you a warning. I don't like seeing mothers go down, but if you're not doing right, you need to be corrected. These kids didn't ask to be here. And if you don't want your kids, email me so we can find better arrangements. But a lot of y'all say kids are hard, but you keep on opening up your legs like 7-Eleven. Pick a side. Which one is it? Are kids are they hard to take care of or they're not? You can't tell me kids are hard to take care of and you got 4 of them by 3 men. That's not going to work with me. If they're hard, I would expect you to have 1. So at the end of the day, ladies, I'm hoping that Danielle Johnson taught you guys something. Speak out. There are so many resources for you guys. Men don't have close to what you guys have. Y'all can go to any place and get help as a woman, especially with kids. Y'all just choose not to do that. You mask it and you tweet and you TikTok and you Facebook, and that does nothing for you. It won't help you. You need to get help. A lot of you Black women are first-time mothers. So I would advise you to please, even if you don't want to go to me, please get some help. It's not hard to do. You just have to ask. People can't read your mind. But one thing I want you to know is that Danielle Johnson taught me something today, that what I'm doing online is right. And if I'm not holding people accountable by reporting the behavior to the proper authorities, there's going to be more dead kids this year. If you see somebody being abused, a man or a woman, speak up. A lot of the things I do online, it takes no effort. I don't need y'all sending me something after it's already been up posted for 5 hours. Say something. Hey sis, this ain't cool. Hey sis, you're cheating. Hey sis, you can get killed. Because nobody ever thinks about what could happen until it happens. Now that it's happened, do y'all see why I do what I do? Do y'all see why I'm passionate about helping kids? Because they didn't ask to be here. Black women, we got to do better. And y'all got to stop believing in that astrology stuff. It isn't real. It isn't. And you can't say you love God, but you're sitting here telling somebody to help contact your dead family. No, this is not the movies. Y'all better stop playing. It's not a game anymore. And I'm hoping that somebody got something out of my show today. Instead, I got a lot of women saying that all I do is bash Black women. If all I do is bash Black women, please show me where I'm doing that. Show me where I'm doing that. Call me out. Because if you call me reporting a woman doing wrong as bashing, I'll accept that full circle. You're going to see a lot more of it then. Because in my opinion, bashing is belittling people. I didn't even call Danielle a deadbeat mom. Not once today. Not once. I said bad mothers. I could have said more. she would have been deserving of a different title. But even with her pushing her kids out of a car, the news is still going to make her into a soft flower who was battling an undiagnosed illness. And then Jalen, who fought for this country, is going to be called the live-in boyfriend. The boyfriend, the man that was living in her apartment. It was their apartment. But that's what they do to black men. Minimalize everything. He's the victim. He was murdered. Yet they call him a live-in boyfriend. That is the most disrespectful. That's like when the news called me a TikToker. I felt very disrespected, but I let them call me that. I didn't correct them, but y'all know I'm not a TikToker. That's what they do. When they don't want to do proper research, they give you a title. So all I'm saying, guys, is I hope that y'all learn something. I really do care about black women. And Danielle could have been saved. But those women who were supporting her, reading the stars and telling them that they're going to be married to Idris Elba in 2 years from now, those women were ignoring all the signs that were right there in their face. I went through her tweets and I saved like 50 of them. I feel like I'm at fault. If somebody would have shared just one of this woman's tweets, I felt like I would have been able to do more. I know where she lives. I know her apartment number. I know all of that. And I think I could have made a difference if somebody would have told me sooner. So sometimes I take the blame too. Black women, you guys are strong. And if you're going through something, you have to ask for help. Even if you don't want to ask your boyfriend, your mom, your sister, your dad, your brother, then email me. Let me talk to you. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a clinician. I'm a life coach. But I do know a lot of wonderful therapists who will help you free of charge. I'll pay for your session just so you can be okay. Because black women, you are needed in this world too. You are. But you have to acknowledge when you are not right. Men do it every day. They won't say nothing until you ask them, hey, what's wrong? We all know when our friends are not on their P's and Q's. You're usually happy. What's wrong? When she posted that apocalypse tweet, it was shortly after that she did some damage. If I had seen that tweet, I would have said, this woman's off her Richter. Let me go ahead and do a well-being check. You know, I've done that for a lot of women. They said something crazy online. I ran their information and I had the police go and check on them. I did that a lot last year. And I can honestly say 40% of those people they checked on, they was not all together. Now, they might have been mad at me for calling the cops, but I felt good knowing they were getting the help they needed. So you can be mad at me, but if you're on there posting some weird stuff and it gets to me, there is a such thing as a well-being check. It costs no money for you to call the police and say, hey, I'm concerned. I'd rather be right than wrong. So even if they're not going through a mental crisis, at least they know that somebody's going to have someone check on them. It's the security of it, y'all. I've done that for people without their permission. They didn't have to tell me. I knew they were not themselves. So some of y'all know somebody like that and y'all didn't even do nothing. You kept scrolling. Stop doing that. When people tell you, yeah, today I'm not well. Today's my last day on this earth. Oh, no, don't say that. Call me. Call me. What is that going to do? Y'all got to do more than that. Some of y'all know these people that say stuff like that. And then you'll reply, call me, call me. No, prayers, my thoughts. That's not going to be enough. You got to do action. That's all I'm saying, you guys. That's all I'm saying. A lot of you women turn a blind eye when it's another woman. Now, if it's a dad online doing this, ooh, y'all got perfect vision. 2020. It's 2020 when it's a man. Hey, Daphne, I see. Hey, Daphne, look. Y'all can't wait to show me something a man is doing. But when it's a woman, you're mad at me. You hate me. I'm bashing women. I've never bashed a black woman. I don't bash. So please get it right. Don't say that about me, because I don't. If a woman is doing something dangerous online and I report it to CPS, that's not bashing. Bashing is me just picking random black women and saying this ugly, high-calorie wig-wearing heifer for no reason at all. But if you come for my looks, I'm going to reciprocate that. I don't never come at women disrespectful. I don't do that. Now, when you disrespect me, I'm going to respond. You might not like the response, but you don't get to decide how I respond when you come into my orbit. You feel what I'm saying? If y'all don't want to deal with me, leave me the fuck alone. But see, black women can't leave me alone. If they disagree with me, I'm a narcissist. I'm stealing from them. It's all these bad things, but the truth. I've never really had a black woman say, Daphne, I didn't realize that you saved that kid's life. Thank you. It's you snitched on that mom. Now the kid got to go into the system. Now the kid's going to get molested by their foster parents. Get the hell out of here. I had a black woman tell me I'd rather a kid be molested by their family than the foster care. Yeah, I had a woman tell me that.
I remember. Oh my God. That is so crazy too.
I had a woman tell me that. A black woman who has kids. She told me that. Well, at least she's being molested by somebody she knows. The foster care, they don't know her. Listen
That
to what I
sounds
just
worse.
said, y'all. That's how black women think. I was truly disgusted with that statement. The foster care is not always a bad thing. But I want you guys to know that when they take a kid out of the home, they don't go straight to the foster care. They always look at next of kin. That's why a lot of these women, their grandmothers are raising their kids. I've seen it all the time. All the time. They would never just throw them in the system. Now, if they have nobody in their life, then they have to do it. It's the last resort, not the first option. But I want to remind you, when we removed kids from a home, the mother had a timeline to get her shit right. And a lot of the times, we would approve for the kid to live with the grandparents while the mom figured it out. And if the mom figured it out and she was able to show the judge in the court that she changed, they would give her back her kid. That's the way it works. The only time they are kept or moved into the system is when there's no progress. So understand before a kid is taken. See, but black women would sit there and say, look what you did to Jasmine. Now her kid is going into the system. See, they didn't work for the system. I did. And I was pretty damn good at my job. And I know that that's not the truth. I've seen parents correct themselves and get their kids back like they never got taken. And they learned what could happen if it happened again. It was rare that I seen a kid go into the foster care system unless their parents were too far gone and nobody in the family wanted them. And you know what the sad part about it is? Those kids that got into the foster care system, they had disabilities. That's why nobody wanted them. The grandmother didn't want them. The aunt didn't want them. The uncle didn't want them because they required direct care. So yeah, they had to go into the foster care. And they needed that hands-on, direct care, 24/7. See, they didn't want to have to do the work. But y'all say that because a mother pushes a baby out, that means she loves the baby. I've seen a lot of kids with disabilities go right into the system because nobody wanted them. I would have taken them. I know all about patience and love. If you loved your kid, you wouldn't give them up. I've had parents that 2 of the kids were in perfect condition and 1 of them had cerebral palsy. Which one do you think they let the system take? Well, these 2 I can deal with. They don't need me 24/7. But this one, yeah, I've seen that. If y'all really want to talk about the system, let's do that. I come with receipts. Don't play with me. It was sad seeing mothers give up their kids, the ones that needed more help. And they kept the ones that didn't need that much help. Don't play with me today because we can go there. If you actually looked up how many kids were in the foster care system because the parents gave them up, you would be surprised. And if you're ever trying to adopt, 70% of those kids have disabilities. And the other 30%, they're older, 13, 14, 15, and nobody wants a kid that's already at that age. So we can go deep. So when it comes to kids, y'all, it goes right to my heart. I love kids. They're innocent. And in order for us to continue to not only support people and care about people, we have to also let them know when they are doing wrong. It is not breaking no code. It's doing the right thing. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm praying for Jalen's family. I'm praying for that 9-year-old girl. And I'm praying for all those people who had to see that baby on that road. Because I'm telling you, I've seen people see something like that and they're never the same, especially if it was a mother. What if she just gave birth and had a baby the same age? Imagine a car rolling over an 8-month-old baby whose body is still developing. Could you imagine how that scene looked? Keep that in your mind and know that that's what a lot of people saw. It's very, very sad. But one thing I will not do is make excuses for a bad mother who had all the opportunities to get help. You got a lot of men in this world that don't have those same opportunities because they have to carry the world on their backs. They got to work 16 hours a day, so they don't have time to sit and reflect. They don't have time to tweet 200,000 times. They don't have the time. She did. She didn't have a real 9-to-5. All she had was time. So if somebody was really going through depression, this would have happened a lot sooner if that was the case. He was out there working as an airman, not her. They lived in a beautiful area. And I bet you if I Googled therapists in that area, there's probably some right up the street. They could afford it. If you can afford $5,000 a month and rent, that's just the rent. We're not talking about the other bills. So eventually y'all got to put things together and acknowledge that this woman did something very selfish. And I'm not going to say she's in hell. That's not our job to say that. She could have asked for forgiveness before running into that tree. We don't know. What we do know is that this woman did something that you don't hear about every day. These cases are once, twice, maybe 3 times a year. So at the end of the day, if we're going to give women a pass for postpartum, then when we hear about a man doing this, give him the same pass. A lot of men didn't even know that postpartum depression existed in men, but it does. First-time fathers are scared too. Not just about how they're going to be as a father, but now they got to carry an extra load. A lot of good men have to work harder to provide. This first-time mother gets to lay up and self-heal, take time off of work. A lot of men don't get maternity leave. They got to go right back to that hard-working job where their feet are hurting and they can barely stand. And they're working 16 hours. Then they come home to a crying baby. She's not feeling good, even though she's been home all day. And now he has to coddle the baby while she takes a shower and while she goes and runs errands. But he just worked 16 hours. He's not going to get 8 hours of sleep. We know that. He's going to probably get 4, 5 hours of sleep. So what about those men that are depressed over having to provide for more than one person now? Y'all feel what I'm saying? It goes both ways, people. That's why we can't make excuses. But if there are men and women out there going through it, reach out to me. Let me help you. Because I don't want to see this kind of case again. It really hurt my feelings to hear this. I felt like I wish I would have known who this woman was back in March. Yep. If I would have known who she was last week, I probably could have done something. Y'all know I don't play games. I know in my heart I could have done something. A well-being check would have went a long way. Mind you, her neighbor that's a woman said that she heard the arguing and she'd even call the cops. What if she would have called the cops? They lived in a really expensive area where the crime rate is an A. That means crime rarely happens there. So if the neighbor would have called the cops and said, I hear a lot of screaming and yelling, and I know there's 2 kids in that house. This was a neighbor of hers. Why didn't they call the police when they heard the yelling? Hey, can you do a well-being check? It's not, you know how nosy neighbors are in that area. If they would have did a well-being check, they would have saved everybody's life. All it would have taken was a phone call. But again, women turn a blind eye. I heard them yelling the night before, and then you heard them yelling the next day, and you still didn't call the police until the aftermath? Wonderful job, neighbor. Good job. No. If I hear my neighbors yelling and yelling and yelling, hello, I live in a white neighborhood. Hello, I'm trying to get some sleep. Can you go do a well-being check? They are loud. Because then when she knows the cops are there, okay, now I know my neighbors will call the cops. So now I got to move differently. Now I don't know when they're calling, if they're out there looking for me. You think differently. So I'm just saying, guys, I honestly think this could have been prevented. And women, I'm just praying that y'all will stop turning a blind eye. Stop being scared to speak up. I'm tired of women sending me posts. Hey, Daphne, look what I saw. Well, what did you do before you sent it to me? Nothing. Why? Well, I don't want to be called names online. I don't want to be talked about. Oh, so you want me to take the heat? Okay. That's how women are. When they send me things, they want me to take the heat. They want me to lose my accounts. Why me? Why y'all doing that to me? Because if I start losing all my accounts, then I won't be online doing it anymore, right? When are y'all going to step up and say, hey, that ain't right? I don't want to keep getting kicked out of groups and banned in groups and all that because they love control in those groups. So before you guys send me something, do something about it first. Don't send me anything anymore. Effective today. Effective today. This goes to women because men rarely send me things. Before you send me a post that somebody made in a private group, I am going to ask you, what did you do about it? If you did not make a comment telling her it was wrong and you can't show me proof of it, I'm not doing anything about it if I'm not in that group. I'm done with that. Y'all not going to keep letting me take the heat. I'm done. Because I'm not going to keep doing this by myself. Y'all want me to take the heat and look like a fool online because y'all don't want to do the work? No. You don't want to upset your friend? No. Don't send me anything if you're not doing anything about it. I'm not your scapegoat. At the end of the day, if more of you women stood up and called it out, we wouldn't have this situation. So at the end of the day, guys, I hope that I enlighten you with something. I will be doing more shows coming up. I know O.J. Simpson did die today. I have my revelations on that. I know a lot of people thought I was going to do a show. They thought I was going to do a tribute. I didn't know O.J. Simpson like that. I won't sit up here and do a whole show on someone that I can't relate to. I did make a post on my story that came from TMZ saying rip, but you're not going to get a sad post like that from me. There were some things about him I didn't like. And I'm going to be honest with it. I'm not going to be a bootlicker, and I'm not going to sit here and praise and support every celebrity that dies. Sorry, that ain't me. O.J. Simpson will be on another episode. I hope his family is okay. He lived a long life. He really did. He did a lot of stuff in his life too. And there's just some things that it don't sit well with me. So again, rest in peace. Hope he had his life right. And that's all I can say. But you're not going to get a tribute from me. And if that makes you guys look at me differently, then so be it. I don't care. I'm not here for you. People die every day. An 8-month-old died before OJ. An innocent baby who did nothing. 8 months. OJ was 76. So at the end of the day, guys, you won't get that. But what I will do, I'm hoping that a lot of these women who just can't stomach what I do, if you can't come on my show, I'm going to block you. So starting today, any woman that has a problem with me, I will give you the option to address it with me online, or I'm going to block you. Because I'm going to assume if you don't like me, why would you follow me? Why would you still look at what I post? Because those are the women that report my old stuff and try to get my page shut down. So understand when I block people, it's not because I'm scared. It's because I don't want to create another page. I'm on Instagram number 3. And I told 3 women, if you have a problem with me, come onto my show. And they all ghosted. So at the end of the day, you're wasting my time. You're just yapping. I don't have time for that anymore. A lot of you women won't see me on this live show because you know already you're lying. So at the end of the day, guys, I hope that you guys do better out there. And any woman and man that is suffering in silence, email me. I can't help everybody, but I can at least try. At least I'm trying. People say so much bad about me and they skip over the good. And that's okay. That's what Black women do. And I'm saying Black women because you guys are my biggest haters are Black women. They hate me because they're not me. I didn't do nothing to them personally, but they hate me. They thought I was going to do a show today saying Danielle was an innocent flower. They're going to hate me a lot today. Okay, so I'm listening at a lot of y'all stuff right now. Hold on. Hey, First Prime, is there anything else you wanted to say before I wrap up?
Yeah, basically, I feel like a thing that might help. Like I would like a show of you, Didi, and Anti Hyena to talk to like three black women who think shit like this is okay. Because I feel like if it's just you and multiple of other ones, they might just start trying to jump on you and be unnecessarily ignorant for no damn reason. I seriously need to understand I feel like I do. It's just I'm trying to beat around the bush a lot, trying to find the source about why the hell is black women accepting shit like this. Like I just don't get it. Like it makes no sense to me how you scream and protect black women, but there's no protecting happening. If anything, we're attacking. It's like we're they're y'all the ones. Well, not you exactly you, but it's like black women is the ones doing the attacking, but they thinking they're not attacking.
Well,
So
that's never gonna happen. So as you can see, every year I can get maybe one or two women to come onto my panel and tell me why they don't like what I do. They will tell me on Instagram they don't like what I do, and then when I inbox them and say, "Hey, can you come on my show?" they say no. I think we I would say a lot of these women, they live in this space where they like to throw rocks and then hide their hands. That's what they do. Like I told you guys, I've been hated a lot for years. And last year was my hardest year because people were jealous of me taking down Rhoda Osmond. So when I broke the news that she was looking at, she was wanted for that felony, on the felony warrant, everybody wanted to take credit. But if you go to January 16th and the 15th and the 14th, they weren't talking about Rhoda. I still was. So if you look at my history and look at what I've done, you will see that all those people that wanted that light and they wanted that clout, they really didn't do much work. But they went on different pages and slaughtered me and talked about me, and I didn't reciprocate. I learned that a lot of these women are very jealous of me, and they're going to have to stay jealous because they're not on my mind. I'm married. I have a husband. They don't. They're miserable. They're lonely. So instead of them accepting the fact that they're just going to be around cats all their life, they would rather terrorize me online and say, her posts are fake. She's fake. She's fake. I'm waiting for that person to expose me for being fake. It hasn't happened yet. They can say it, but they're not backing it up with any receipts because it isn't true. Because these bans are real. Me being on my third Instagram, that is real. You don't just lose Instagram overnight. My first page, it took me 10 years to build, and I lost it in seconds over a woman reporting a post of mine, over Cardi B getting my post taken down. She was the warning post. And then when I made another one, I got shut down. I'm on Instagram number 3. Every year around July, I lose a page. So now I have to walk on eggshells. That's why I have to block people. If I don't block them, they will have access to my page because my page isn't private. I don't hide behind a nickname. You guys know my name is Daphne Sutton. If you look at a lot of people calling me a hater, they hide behind a persona because if you ran their name, you'll be surprised. I have nothing to hide. I talk about my life all the time. I'm one of the few content creators who don't hide behind a facade. Yes, I'm the queen of accountability, but on Instagram, I'm verified under my real name. But most of these big pages, you'll be surprised if you knew what they really did outside of social media. They're not what they post. They're not. They're different. So all I can say to these women, if you don't like me, let's talk about it. I'm always open to talk to these women because I want to know what they're thinking. Why do you hate me? Did I do anything to you personally? No. I just don't like when you got Rhoda in trouble. I don't like what you said about Jasmine. I don't like but that person doesn't involve you. What is your beef with me? Nothing. That's typically a black woman's response. Nothing. I didn't do nothing to them. They just hate me. They hate me. And no matter what I do, they're going to always hate me. Somebody called me today a wannabe Kevin Samuels. So let me explain this to you again. Before y'all knew who Kevin Samuels was online, I was still online holding people accountable. He started his Instagram in 2018. He started on YouTube consulting men on what to wear, and it wasn't doing anything. Then he changed. Me and Kevin are not the same. I've been the same for years. I've never changed. Even when people said, oh, the text receipts are fake, the Facebook posts are, I'm still doing the same thing. And only my true followers will see that. I was going viral back in 2016. Did anybody know who Kevin Samuels was then? And if they say yes, go on their Facebook, go to the search engine and type in Kevin Samuels and look at when they first posted him. I bet you $1,000 it wasn't in 2016. People started posting about Kevin Samuels in 2018, 19, and 20. I was already going viral before that date. So please stop comparing me to someone that I was out before. He did better on YouTube because that's his lane. I was Facebook. I was Instagram. So I don't need the comparisons. He had his lane and I have mine. I'm never going to change what I do. I'm going to continue to do it the same way that I've been doing it for years. So all I'm asking for is for you guys to report the facts and don't listen to everything you hear. Wait for the facts. And as this case unfolds, we'll hear more about Danielle's past. They might even say she was battling an issue, going through something deep, because that's what they have to do to protect her reputation. That's what they're going to do. I just hope that they give Jalen the respect he deserves and say that this man fought for us. At least do that. He has a family too. And I don't think they want to remember him as a live-in boyfriend who got murdered on a couch and had his body dragged back and forth. You feel me? That isn't right. At least show him some respect too. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't out there selling nickel bags. He was fighting for us. So at the end of the day, guys, that's all I got to say. I'm really disappointed. But First Prime, what I will do, I'll do another poll. And I say, anyone that disagrees with me, please send me an inbox and we'll see what we get. Because like I said, the only 3 people that have ever had the guts was Melanie, Erica, and Tiffany. Those are the only 3 women in the almost 2.5 years that I've been doing this that have ever, oh no, I'm wrong. My stalker, my very first show that I did 2 years ago. I'm not going to say her name, but yeah, 4 women, my stalker, and then Melanie, Erica, and Tiffany. Only 4 women have ever came on my show and told me how they felt. Everybody else are keyboard thugs. If you cannot tell me out loud how you feel, I don't need to hear it on Instagram and Facebook. You're blocked. Bye-bye. Never see you again. That's what I'm going to be doing this year. I don't have time to entertain these women who want to try to bait me in to something and then do a court case. I don't have time for that no more. I'm on a different level. So at the end of the day, I respect those black men who know what I'm doing is right. And I respect those black women who know what I'm doing is right. And I said men first because men, they don't hate me as much as black women do. I even had a white woman tell me, my mother loves listening to you. You're like, we play you in our house. We watch you on our big screen TV because we have the app and it's amazing. And this came from a white woman. Keep doing what you're doing. I know I'm not a black woman, but I just respect what you do. And I hope that I can do what you do. I do get feedback like that from other races. And I say, thank you. Hey, talk to me.
Hi, Daphne.
Hey.
Oh my God, it's so good to be speaking with you again. I was just listening in, and you've been saying a lot of things that I've been feeling for a very long time, and I'm really glad that you continuously do what you're doing to spread awareness, because it's something that is plaguing our community specifically. And I just feel like we're focused on everything else but the well-being of children and our families, and because of that we're suffering. And so I'm really thankful that you're talking about it, Daphne, because it really upsets me when I see yet another child's life senselessly taken, another black child's life put in danger. And I wish that more people would talk about it and do what you do so that we could save more children, honestly, because it really breaks my heart.
I could tell in your voice. I can tell that you're affected. Let me ask you this. You came into my life a few weeks ago, right? You first used to reach out to me on TikTok, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you came into my life, did we ever speak on the phone? Did we ever start talking?
Yes, we did at one point. I know I reached out to you on TikTok. You're very kind there. A little bit of Instagram. I've been following you for a while, Daphne, because I really admire you like so much, and so it's really awesome to be
Thank
able
you.
to have the opportunity to speak with somebody I admire. But yeah, you actually spoke with me. You helped me with a lot of things that I was going through in my life. I don't know how you're able to keep track with so much when you help so many people. It's crazy. Your memory's insane, Daphne.
Thank
But yeah, you spoke on the phone with me. You were so just your energy just made me feel so good talking to you.
you. And
That's all I can say.
I remember when I called you, you acted like I was like a celebrity. Do you remember
I
what I said to you when you were getting so excited? Do you remember what I said?
You did tell me that you're just another person, and that something along the lines of that, but you were very humble and you were very sweet and forthcoming.
Thank you. That's what I want. That's what I wanted people to hear. When I spoke to this beautiful individual, um, she was very excited to speak to me. And I told her, I'm nobody. I'm a normal person just like you. That's who I am outside of social media. And this beautiful individual, we spoke on the phone and I helped her with things that she needed help with. Her saying that my memory is wonderful, I appreciate that because I try to remember everybody I speak to and I try my best to respond to them at the time that I can respond to them. But what made me a little nervous is when she was hyping me up. I'm just a regular person, just like her. I'm not going to live to be 1,000. We're all going to die one day. But it makes me happy when people see me and they say, I admire you. Because a lot of Black women don't like me. And this is a beautiful Black woman with a family and with her head on her shoulders. And one thing I never did was say, I'm just going to throw you to the wolves and have a good day. She reaches out to me and I respond when I can. But we've had many conversations. And for her to tell me that she admires me, and it's not every day she gets to speak to someone she admires, that's why I'm going to continue to do it because of what she just said to me today. Her one good compliment, it takes away the 50 bad compliments I might have received today. Hers will trump that. So I want you to know that this is why I continue to do this because Black women like her tell me that they admire me. So I'm clearly doing something right for her to look at me like that and tell me she's been following me for a long time. It's music to my ears when people say that because that means they know a lot about what I do. So when you got other Black women that are older and depressed and miserable and they want to throw that on me and say that I'm evil, don't ever talk with Daphne. She's a fraud. She'll scam you. If I was ever scamming anyone, don't you think they would have already put me on blast? I would be the perfect person to get. I go by the queen of accountability. So when they can't find anything on me and it doesn't work, they start spreading lies. So Queen, thank you so much for your compliment. It really made my night. It really did.
No, thank you. You made so much possible for me, Daphne. Seriously, and I just want to let you guys know, you have been like one of the most genuine, transparent, and I'm really not exaggerating when I say this, but so just upfront and honest and genuine, and got the receipts for everything. And when I say that I trusted Daphne immediately because she helped me with a lot of personal things in my life, I gave her, a lot of personal life information. And if she really wanted to, which I highly doubt, like I would never like distrust her to do so, but she could like mess some things up in my life. And so far, all she's done is help me like tremendously. You know what I'm saying? I've shared so much with her, and she's only been like just, y'all, I trust this woman. I really do. And it's been months now, and you've been so good. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel any type of distrust or like I'm scared that if I tell you something, it's gonna get out. Like I done gave this woman a lot of information, y'all, and she's good. Okay, I don't. There's no reason for people to lie on your name, Daphne. When you use your real name, people know about you, can look you up. Like you said, if there was something off about you, it would have been came out. Especially with the hyenas they lurk. They
Yep.
lurk and they look so hard. They will look for any and everything to try to discredit you, and they have nothing.
Nope.
And I see why they have nothing.
Thank you. I appreciate that, girl. I appreciate that. And we're going to talk outside of this. I appreciate your words. And I really do hope you have a great rest of your night, okay?
Thank you, Daphne. You as well. Good night, y'all.
Okay, good night. So, guys, as you can see, that's a Black woman that said things great about me. One thing about me, if you tell me something personal and you tell me that it's personal, it'll never get out, even if we fall out. One thing about me is that I don't tell people secrets when we fall out. That shows the character of someone when they tell you everything that that person told you when they were on talking terms. That right there tells me a lot about your character. And with her, I told her some things too, and she doesn't even know. I told her a couple things too to see what she would do, and she hasn't said nothing yet. I tell people every day that when you're in my circle, you might get tested because at the end of the day, I know there's women out there that don't want to see me do what I'm doing, but I'm gonna keep doing it. And I want you guys to know I'm going to keep bringing you guys content. I just hope that all of my subscribers can start listening into my shows. Because if I'm seeing that I'm not getting the numbers, what's the point of doing the show? I'm not getting paid for this. I want you guys to know that you can't send me a super chat. I promise you, you can't. I don't get a chance to apply to be monetized again until July. So if I really cared about money, I wouldn't be here. I did tell you guys I will start doing Twitter space because I just like that space better. People actually like to hear me. I got 21,000 subs, but I'm usually getting about 50, 60 listeners. That isn't right. So if you guys are just following me for my community chats, then go on my Instagram. You can see it there. I'd rather y'all unsub me and just go to my Instagram because I don't plan on ever getting paid on YouTube. They're never going to control me. I'm always going to get in trouble. That's just the way it goes. I don't care. But YouTube was never my lane. But I think it's sad when I have all these subs and the listeners are not, it's not adding up. But when I post a community chat, it's getting up to 800-900 likes. That means 900 people saw my community chat. So why aren't you guys on my shows listening in? So again, I can go to Twitter space and have over 5,000 listeners with 18,000 followers. Y'all see what I'm saying? I just like to go where I'm wanted. So like I said, YouTube was great, but I'm not always going to be on YouTube. If I keep seeing the turnout like this, I don't want to have to do Daphne versus to get 800 people to listen in. That's not why I want to do this. I want you guys to listen on the good topics as well as the ones that might cause, a controversial, point. I want y'all to be there. But if I'm not seeing the support, I will stop doing lives here and you'll have to see me on Twitter because they've never let me down. I've done 3 Twitter spaces and I've had over 2,000 people on each one. The most I ever got was almost 6,000. And I don't see a lot of these content creators on here with 6,000 listeners. When y'all see it, let me know. I've seen a lot of people with like 100,000 subs and they get about 200 listeners. Something isn't adding up. So if you guys are only following me for my community chat, then just meet me on Twitter or Instagram. So again, I'm doing the best that I can, but I've been asked to go back to the Twitter space and I think I'm going to start going there. So I will let you guys know in the community chat what I'm doing. I will try to still do a show once a week here, but what matters to me is going to be on Twitter because I think more people listen in there and they can't wait to hear me on there. So again, I've tried to do the YouTube thing, but it's never been my thing. And I think the algorithm is all messed up. And again, I'm not doing this to get paid, you guys. I'm not doing this to get paid. I'm only doing this so I can enlighten you guys and help you guys. That's it. I appreciate all the love on my community chat. I post a meme and 700 likes or 1,000 likes, 1,100 likes. But I don't have 1,100 listeners. So I know y'all out there because I know a lot of people might not have the listeners. And then when I look at their community chat, it ain't doing well either. I know on my community tab, you guys are listening. There's a lot of y'all there. I need y'all here on my live shows. So if I need to promote it 2 weeks in advance or tell me what I can do to get everybody to listen. Do I need to change the time? I'm new to this stuff, but clearly I'm not doing it at the right time. So if you guys have any pointers, let me know. Because I know my friend Roger, he'd do his shows in the morning and he'd have over 200 people listening in. And he has way less subs than me. So clearly either I'm not meeting y'all at the right time or what. But we can't have no 1,100 likes on my community tab, but y'all not listening into my shows. Because then the support ain't the same. So like I said, if I keep seeing this pattern, I will not be doing shows anymore at that rate on YouTube. I'll probably do 1 or 2 shows a month. And then I'll just be on Twitter. I really do love Twitter more than I do YouTube. Not because I'm not monetized. It's just because more people listen in. If I got 18,000 followers and 6,000 people are listening, I've made that makes my day. Because a lot of people can't get those numbers on YouTube on a good day. But I can show you the receipts of me having 5.5 thousand listeners, from Tariq Nasheed to other people listening into my space. That made me feel appreciated. So I'm just saying, guys, if you really do support me, show me with being here at one of my lives. There's no excuse. I don't need people just liking my post. I need you to really listen to what I'm saying. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So Uncle Snacks. Okay, so what I do is I take a poll and I ask you guys, what time would you like me to do my lives? That way you can tell me. Because if 1,000 of you keep liking my stuff every time I post it, I would love to have 1,000 listeners. Come on in. That's what I do. And then I will be able to meet you guys halfway. Okay? Hey, Phil, I honestly think like maybe 60% of my subscribers are men. The 40% are women. I know I don't have a lot of female subscribers. I think I have more male than female, because a lot of females don't like what I do. But I guarantee you, if I said I don't like men and they get on my nerves and they're dusty, I'll probably have a plethora of people listening in on my show. If I did a show today that said men ain't shit and I planned to do it on Saturday, oh man, I'll probably go viral. But I'm not going to do that. I've had people tell me, if you just change it up a little bit. No, I'm going to remain the same. I'm not going to change. A lot of people changed up what they did because they weren't getting the views and the likes. I'm not changing my content. I'm just going over to Twitter. That's all I'm saying. I'm just not going to be on YouTube because I don't see a reason. When I post a video on Instagram, it'll get over 25,000 views. When I post it on YouTube, I'm getting what, 1.6 thousand? So y'all not even looking at my videos. So all I'm saying is I'm seeing a bigger turnout on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter when it comes to me posting content. I like to be appreciated. I don't feel appreciated on YouTube. I think a lot of y'all subscribe to me because of Rhoda. So you're watching for the updates. Y'all really don't care. If it ain't about Rhoda, y'all don't care. And that's not what, if that's why you guys are sub to me, unsub. I don't care about the numbers because my numbers are bigger everywhere else. I don't care. Thank you, but don't need fake people. I need people that are actually listening to my content, because there's going to be more Rhodas. So if you only sub to me to see what happens to her, you're wasting your time. Thank you, Faded. I will stay true. I will. Phil, I don't know the states. I'll look that up for you, man. I'm just looking at your comments. I never heard about you, Daphne, with YouTube's algorithm. Yeah. You know, I had a lot of people tell me when I go live, they don't even get the reminder, and they set it to be reminded. So I don't know. Maybe when you're demonetized, they do things like that. I don't know how this works. I just know that a lot of people are moving away from YouTube and they're going to Rumble and Patreon, whatever that is. I have to look up those other things and maybe I'll start doing that. But it really hurts me when I see pages that are 10,000 subs and they go live and they get 500 listeners. So something ain't right. Something clearly ain't right. I don't buy subs. I don't buy none of that stuff. You can have that. That ain't me. Don't do it. Don't need it. I got 89,000 followers on Facebook by itself. So at the end of the day, I don't need to buy nothing. So if I'm not seeing the support, I will slowly stop doing shows and I'll just go to Twitter. Meet me there. Like I said, YouTube was never my thing. I just started doing videos in 2021. That's when I started doing videos. So other than that, this has never been my lane. Before that, YouTube was just YouTube. I'm just being honest. I only started really taking it seriously about 2.5 years ago. So all I'm saying, guys, is I'm doing the best I can. I can't do it by myself. So if you're a true subscriber to me, I'll do a poll. Let me know what times and I'll do it that way. But if you want to know my other social medias, my Instagram is the Queen of Accountability all together. And my Twitter is Celebrid. 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 That's where you'll find me. So again, guys, yeah, Uncle Snacks, I know that. Uncle Snacks, you've been very consistent, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Uncle Snacks said it's my sincerity and my honesty that keeps him coming. I appreciate that. I'm a really honest individual. I do the best that I can. I'm not perfect. I cuss. I try my best not to, but I do. But one thing I want you guys to know is that I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. And my real supporters, every day people ask me, why didn't you ride the Rhoda train? Why didn't you go to TMZ? You know, TMZ would have paid me for my information to be the first to break the news. I didn't go to TMZ. I didn't go to no big page. I went to mine. They said, do you know how much money you could have made? I'm good. And when I broke the news, all the blogs and all the haters, they went after me. Timestamps don't lie. I could have made a lot of money going to TMZ first. But it wasn't about the money. It was the message. I could have called every news station and said, hey, I'm the one on the charging documents. Here's the proof. Put my YouTube up there. Put my Instagram. No, the only person that did, the only news stations that were repeating it was the ones that were reporting it because the detective told them my name. I didn't even know I was on the charging document until the news reached out to me. And they told me they would like to do a story with me on how I did all this. I said, why? You're on the charging document. Oh, okay. And I didn't do it. I ghosted them. So at the end of the day, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about the clout. I genuinely do this, right? So y'all can say whatever you want about me being a fraud, but ask yourself why I didn't write that train when my name is on it. All these other pages are reporting the Rhoda stuff, but they're not on the documents. They're just obsessed with the case because they want a little bit of clout. I'm actually on the charging document. I'm in the case. You're not. You'll never be able to take that from me. The detective mentioned me. You might say you spoke to the detective, but they mentioned me. So clearly your information was watered down because I already gave them the information. I'm going to still be hated. And if Rhoda is charged with some time, you know my name's going to trend again. And this time I might do an interview and say, yeah, we finally got somebody. Now they can actually, you know, be brought to justice. And this will teach the next woman not to lie. So at the end of the day, guys, I did what I needed to do and I'm going to keep doing it. So stay true to yourself. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. I will be doing another show. I will take a poll. If there are any women out there that do not like me and don't like what I do, and they think what I do is snitching, let's talk about it. You could be anonymous. You don't have to use your real name and you don't have to go on video. You can put a picture there, but I do have to prove that you are real. Okay? Because we can't have people getting sent to my page to try to shut my page down. So if there's any women out there or men, I would love to hear from a man that doesn't like what I do. It's rare, but hey, I'm open to it. Email me. My email's pinned right there. And I would love to hear from you. I will do another Instagram post. Like I said, if you women can't come on my live and tell me how you feel, then you're not worth my time. I don't do well with keyboard warriors. It won't do us any good. Keep tapping your keys on your own, but I'm not going to be a part of it. Okay? So at the end of the day, guys, I hope that you guys are subscribed to my page where you can get the notifications. I will keep bringing you guys the best content that I can. And I hope that you guys got something out of tonight. Again, if you're going through anything, you ain't got to go through it alone. I promise you. No woman or man should ever suffer in silence. It's not a good feeling. It's not. And you guys deserve much better. So if your doctors are not listening to you, ladies, let me know. I will put them on blast in a quick second. If you have hospitals that are not listening to you when you say you're in pain, when you say you're not feeling like yourself, and they tell you, it's okay, Shaquisha, just take that little pill, you'll be all right. I need you to reach out to me. I love putting hospitals on blast when they're not doing their job. I will help you. If any of you women are not being heard, because I don't play that. I know there's hospitals out there when they say, oh, I'm in pain. Oh, it's in your head, Shaquisha. No, it's not. We know our bodies. So if you've been told no and you know something is wrong, let me know. I will put them on blast. No cost to you. I got you. I'll take the hit. You will be protected, ladies. But if you want to be protected and valued and supported, you too have to be that like that with people too. You can't be angry and aggressive. You'll never be heard. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of you guys hold on to aggression for no reason at all. So I hope that you guys can at least go to somebody for help if you need it. Men, if you are suffering, if you know you're going through something and you're not being heard, let me know. I might not live in your state, but I got people. I got resources. No cost to you. I'm putting the word out. Okay? Other than that, guys, have a blessed night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Y'all be safe and good night.